Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United Fair Sale 10 for more information. Don't wait. Apply today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Oh, what's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
The New York City mayor wants the Biden administration to revoke the federal firearms license of a Nevada company that sells parts and kits for ghost guns, which have no serial numbers and a growing presence at crime scenes. Mayor Eric Adams and a gun control group accuse Polymer 80 of violating federal gun laws that require serial numbers and background checks for gun buyers. The mayor's also again criticizing bail reform after a shooting last night involving a convicted felon.
The shooter, 25-year-old Ramik Smith, shot at officers who returned fire. Smith was killed, one officer was wounded, and is expected to fully recover. The mayor said Smith is a repeat offender who is free awaiting sentencing for possession of a firearm. He called for an end to revolving door justice. The mayor said the same criminals are repeatedly being released. In his words, New York City deserves better.
Fox's David Lee Miller. A potential fire hazard leads to a repeat recall for one automaker.
Hyundai is recalling more than 215,000 Sonata sedans from the 2013 to 2014 model years, many of which were recalled in 2020 for the same problem. Documents posted by U.S. safety regulators point to a low-pressure fuel hose that can crack over time due to heat from the engine that can cause fuel leaks and increase the risk of fire. In the 2020 recall, dealers inspected the hoses and replaced them if they were damaged. If not, heat-resistant tape was installed. This time, all of the faulty hoses will be replaced. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Wall Street goes back to selling. The Dow down 327 points at the close. The S&P also dropping more than 1%. The NASDAQ tumbling more than 3%, down more than 300 points. Oil prices shooting back over $105 a barrel. Latest inflation reading today shows it's still near a 40-year high. Elisa Brady, Fox News.
Go green, go hybrid, go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
It's time for a fresh moment from Ruby Tuesday Guam. The Fresh Garden Bar is back to self-service, and for a limited time, you can feel the freshness for just $8.99. That's right, $8.99. You can also add on grilled chicken or grilled salmon for a few bucks more. The Fresh Garden Bar is back to self-service and available all day long. So come on in for a fresh moment at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Win a $100 gas card when you purchase Gasolina energy drinks. Be one of 5 winners and enter now when you purchase 3 for $4 Gasolina 8-ounce or 3 for $5 Gasolina 16-ounce energy drinks. Trying on June 21st. Free gas with 76 Circle K. Take it easy.
Ice, baby.
Get a 10-pound bag of ice for only 95 cents when you purchase a 12-pack or more of any soda or beer. Only 95 cents for a 10-pound bag of ice. Swing by Circle K today. Some conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy.
Ice, baby.
Off a day, it's 6:06. I'm Mana Silva Tyron with a look at your local news on The Point. An accident yesterday sent 2 people to the hospital with critical injuries. It was about 6:30 in the evening when police and emergency responders were called to the 2-car collision. It happened along Route 15 up in Jigo. According to the Guam Daily Post, an unresponsive man was seen on the ground several feet from the car that was wrecked, while the second victim, an underage girl, was seated in the front passenger side, was also seriously injured. The second vehicle was a pickup. It was seen with the airbag deployed. The 2 victims from the first vehicle were transported to the Guam Regional Medical City, and their condition this morning is not known. Meanwhile, police haven't released any new details in an auto pedestrian accident that reportedly took place in Pidi on Tuesday. The victim in that case was found unresponsive near the day-by-day market. He was taken to Naval Hospital. He has not been identified, nor has his condition been disclosed. Police are investigating the cause of that crash as well. Meanwhile, the Guam Daily Post also reports this morning an autopsy has been completed on a man who was shot by Guam police officers at a Harmon intersection, and the death has been classified as a homicide. Investigators confirmed that he died from a single gunshot wound to the chest. The Office of the Attorney General, their independent investigative team, released the results on Wednesday, more than a month after the shooting has occurred. A doctor from Hawaii performed the autopsy on the man, and investigators are not releasing his name as the investigation continues. But the AG will determine if charges will be filed against the police officer. The officer was placed on paid leave following the shooting. Now, police have said that the suspect was being chased down by police when he got out of his vehicle at the Harmon intersection by McDonald's. The man was seen in a video moving away from his burning car and appeared to be armed with a rifle before one of the officers opened fire. Also, an internal affairs investigation underway following a video that was making its rounds that shows a Guam police officer kicking a man who was on the ground. The officer believed to have been responding to the motorcycle crash. The vehicle shows a motorcycle on the ground and at least 3 officers standing over the rider who landed on the other side of a concrete barrier. The individual recording the video appeared to see the man kicking, the officer kicking the victim, but the video doesn't show the actual kicking. Police on the scene told people around to back up. Police Chief Steve Ignacio said that he received the video from multiple people and the video had been forwarded to an internal affairs. Now, another video that was making its rounds also captured the motorcycle being chased by police before it crashed. It is believed that the motorcycle was stolen, and police spotted the vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed in Santa Rita. We'll have more news right after this.
Half a day. My name is John Kinata from the village of Umate. I've applied for the program as Salapi to help me in my daily commute from Umate to Manila. Thank you to this administration for the program as Salapi.
The application deadline for program in Salapi has been extended to May 22nd, 2022. For more information, please visit doa.guam.gov. This ad was paid for by the Office of the Governor using government funds.
Comes as great news to Guam public school teachers. Nearly 2,000 of them are set to be getting a raise soon. The governor yesterday approved raises for workers covered under the government's educator pay plan. It covers 1,925 DOE teachers, to include special program consultants, teacher mentors, school administrators, counselors, and librarians. That change would increase the average salary of a certified teacher from around $49,000 to $59,000. The raises will take effect on May 23rd. The governor says our approval of the salary adjustments recommendations represents our full commitment to realizing their value and vitality in our island community. She said she did note that the raises were planned since the early days of her administration. Meanwhile, there was hope that we would finally have a medical examiner, but it appears the doctor selected has changed his mind. Dr. Jeffrey Nine submitted a letter of withdrawal for the medical examiner position, citing medical reasons. Guam has been without a chief medical examiner since Dr. Aurelio Espinola retired in 2019. Nine had previously accepted GovGuam's offer to take the salary of $310,000 plus benefits. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
So I guess the deal was the guy wanted to bring his pet or pets, and it was either prohibitive or just couldn't get done.
No, it sounded like the AG
was he got tarantulas, or was the guy trying to import Bengal tigers?
Gerbils.
Hey, we don't know that guy for sure.
No, but it sounded like the AG was trying to do a workorround for that.
Yeah, like
and then
Attorney
he cited
General.
like medical reasons for his changing his mind.
Why is it so hard to move? I'm just kind of curious
now.
now.
You know what? I'll do it.
Got 2 thoughts in my head. One of them is we've got pets here on Guam. If you got an animal, you're gonna miss it. We'll go to Gain and we'll get you an animal. They got cats, they got dogs. Go, Nate Horn. We'll go and find you a new cat. We'll personally select you a new cat from over at Gain.
But he'll have to come over and visit one from time to time.
He's like emotional support.
And then the other part is why is it so darn hard to move pets around? around here. Do you realize the incredible, oh my God, costs of taking your family pet and moving it just to the States? I mean, not even far into the States. I had a friend, and we had to do fundraisers for her to be able to get her dogs from here to OB in San Diego.
Couple of G's, Ray. Couple of G's.
Oh, more than a couple of G's. It's like, okay, whatever they're charging for first class on the airplane, now double it if you want to take the pet.
Yeah.
Because it's just that expensive.
If you want it to arrive alive. Right?
There's the old Ray Gibson joke about, I'm going to open up, I'm going to go to veterinary school, and I'm going to go to animal stuff in school, right? Either way, you get your dog back. It's the Ray Gibson Show at 6:12.
Are we on?
Oh, yeah, yes, we're on.
Okay. Did we go late? Because
Why?
JB's looking for us. He goes, "Are you on? What's
Yeah, we're here. We're here. It's online.
We're on it, man. We're on it.
Everybody else is online. I'll give you a list of top 10 people. Actually, we were kind of late going in. I didn't click the button until about 6:02. All right, so we've got scattered showers mainly before 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's already been falling. There's wet roads all over the place these days. It has to do with all of the chop that we are kind of in the middle of right now. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of prevailing winds in either direction, so it could be this stuff's just going to wash back and forth over us, east to west, west to east. Partly sunny skies later today with highs near 88 degrees. Overnight lows about, 78 degrees for this evening. Partly cloudy skies following that. Tomorrow is Friday. Just thought I'd say so. I just thought I'd throw that in, just kind of a mention. Mostly sunny tomorrow. Highs near 88 degrees. East wind 7 to 9 miles an hour tomorrow night. Partly cloudy and overnight lows of about 78 degrees. Saturday, there's going to be race judicata at the Justas courtroom in Agana.
Yes, mens rea.
No.
Corpus delicti.
No, it's res judicata. Actually, we ought to bug Mustache Wisdom this morning about that and get a definition of res judicata. At any rate, partly cloudy skies in the forecast for Saturday morning, so maybe a little bit cooler as we're making another one of those 5Ks. Isolated showers in the forecast for Saturday, mostly sunny, highs near 88 degrees on Saturday afternoon. Heat index today, 92 degrees. There's a 20% chance of rain. As I said, some of that may have already fallen, so watch out if you're on the road. Sunrise was at 5:56. Sunset tonight, almost 6:40. It's getting again later and later and later. So 6:39 or so tonight for sunset. Hashtag tell the others. 6:14 on the Ray Gibson Show. Be right back. Portions brought to you by Bank Pacific. Banking on the Pacific for 67.75 years.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
The Federal Reserve is starting to increase interest rates to fight inflation, but they're still so low, making it the perfect time to refinance your home, to lower your rate, and perhaps take advantage of its increased value to put some cash in your pocket during these uncertain times. Cash that you can have the freedom to access when you want, where you want, with your Bank Pacific Visa debit card. Lower your rate with cash in your pocket. Access your cash when you want, where you want, with your Visa debit card. Brothers put branches, we place roots, and we're rooting for you. Equal housing lender, credit conditions apply.
No, it's up and at 'em this morning. And aren't you just feeling that Thursday vibe here? Ray Gibson Show brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. Also brought to you by Wendy's with their new hot honey chicken sandwich, heating up, made to crave menu. It's a beloved, spicy, all-white meat chicken breast. I know what you're saying. Didn't everybody do a chicken sandwich? Shh, let me finish. The all-white meat chicken breast, melted pepper jack cheese. How's that for your big moment of bliss? 3 strips of applewood smoked bacon, crispy pickle chips, all topped with a decadent hot honey and housed on a toasted premium bun. A little sweet, little heat, a lot of good. Only at Wendy's. We gotcha.
The Ray Gibson Show.
Let me finish.
Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
I'm ready. Let's go. Come on. Let's get this Thursday taken care of. Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. Thrilled to be here with you. Just crazy thrilled to be here with you because now I'm over 60, right? Every day, it's like every day is a gift. Every day, that's why they call it the present.
61.1.
Exactly. And 365th. How's that? Anyway, 6:17 in the morning. Thrilled to be here with you. It's Thursday. I might have mentioned that a couple of times, and lots to talk about on the table of contents. Get around to doing some of that, but or do I? I don't know. Which way do I want to go? How do I want to introduce everybody? We'll get it right. Real Joe, right there. You call 888-8255, 888-TALK.
I'll do it.
And here he is, our junior paralegal for the radio station. When there's a legal question I don't know the answer to, I'll look inquisitively at Real Joe, and he'll say, "Let me get his honor on the phone."
Oh, it's under advisement.
Under
right?
advisement, yes, yeah. We'll take that, and we'll do the little sidebar, whatever. Anyway, so 888-8255, you want to yak with him and find out if he's got an OnlyFans page. Actually, we talked about this earlier. Somebody had seen me in a picture on Facebook. I was holding the Father Duenas Memorial Beach towel.
Much the imagination, Ray.
Yeah, and... And Real Joe said some people are asking if I have an OnlyFans page, and the answer is no. I don't go in that direction. I will send you DMs, wow. but the deal is they're priced based on your weight.
Slide in.
It's like that. 618. But you can get more details from Real Joe. Oh, by the way, 797-8255 is the WhatsApp deal, and everybody had the same idea at exactly the same time. This picture here from Sarita Garin's patio out at her place in the Palace. That's what it looked like peeking out over at her place this morning. Beautiful sunrise. I was getting my water, and I looked out the window to the outside. We get this glass brick, and I'm looking at the glass brick going, I like that color, so I went outside and then got this picture here, and this is what it looked like, kind of northbound Marine Corps Drive from the side of the building here at the radio station. Dennis Larson was up early this morning, and he got a couple of snaps that might be worth showing you. So this is what it looked like. Yeah, this is what it looked like over the bee ranch that he's got there. He's rustling up those bees, making some money here this morning, and up early looking at just a gorgeousness that was sunrise. Gonna hardly wait to see what it looked like over at Pirates Cove. Do I have them on? Do I have got the Pirates Cove pictures all ready to go? There it is. There it is, eastern side of the island, ladies and gentlemen, as the sun is making its way up on a beautiful Thursday, Taco Thursday, Thirsty Thursday morning. I don't know what it is that you want to call it, but that's the thing is working. Is a point. 797-8255. If you've got some gorgeousness that you want to share with us, Montecillo Tyron, my baby sister and newscaster, is going to be taking care of
Present
big news.
And Biba.
All right. So we've got big news
Vaccinated,
here, and stuff
ready for hire.
Biba. So we've got a ton of stuff in the table of contents, but what's more exciting is what we don't have in the table of contents, and it is matters of rumor and conjecture. And remember that people ask me what this show is about. I say it's about 4 hours long, but the truth is it's political gossip and smartass comments. That's the whole premise of the program here, and it seems to be working. Viewership is going up like you wouldn't believe. But anyway, so we got Mana, and among the things that we're talking about, rumors floating around in the Democratic Party of Guam. Now, I'm not going to say that they botched the primary election. I can see them all standing up after a couple of rounds of drinks and saying, "Hey, dude, you know what we got to do? Close the primary, right? What? Who do we got to talk to? We're the CEC. We can do whatever we want to. Get Maria Pangilinan on the phone." And as it turns out, that was your major abortion of stupid ideas of 2022. It's not a retreat. It's not what they say it was. It's not a retreat. It's not an admission of defeat. It's not
it's not a white flag.
It's not a white flag. Yeah. Whatever it was. So my guess is there was already a certain amount of uncertainty and instability among members of the party, number one, and number two, members in the all in let's reelect Lou and Josh campaign. Now it had been widely known that there had been some abdication from among prominent Republican strategists like Rose Ramsey. And word was that she had started working with the campaign, and now recently we have heard rumor floating around, and feel free to confirm this 797-8255 if you've got any kind of documentation or indications that there have been significant changes
or viral videos especially. Could we do viral? You have viral videos of anybody fighting? We should make a viral video Thursday.
We heard that there was a knockdown drag out between Rose and some director because somebody didn't get the quote quota of, I don't know, tickets that were supposed to get sold or new names in the villages or whatever. How many different all-ins cars in the driveway. You met your quota, you didn't meet your quota. But anyway, so she's out, and what, Rory is in
That's
now?
what I heard. I heard it from a couple people yesterday. I don't know. You heard the same thing?
I'm hearing the same thing, but I don't know if it's the same couple of people that you and, because it's one thing if I heard it from two different people and then they were different from the two people that you were talking to. So it's possible that there might be a little bit of an echo chamber going around. So it could be misinformation, could be disinformation, or it could be an actual fact that there is there's squirming going on in the all-in campaign.
Somebody asked me if I heard, and I didn't hear. I'm hearing the rumors also. I don't have any confirmation.
I got people on the inside. We'll see what we can find out. But anyway, you got that rumor that's floating around, and now that the teachers are getting a pay raise, we will have a variety of new campaigns running on the radio. The one with Jeff from Pirates Cove, the one with Mark Baldiga. We got that person down from Umatic now that's thank you very much for the government money or whatever it is. So are we gonna? Do we need to make room? Do we need to build
Thank
some
you for my teacher raise?
Yes, we need to get teachers. All the teachers of Guam. My name is Miss Diana, and I want to say thank you to the governor.
They deserve it, though. I have to say they do deserve it.
You know what?
So long.
They're due.
I'm blown away.
It is probably the fastest pay study that I've ever experienced in my history studying government.
That's a case study.
We took a look at this. Well,
the last pay study took, 8 years?
Yeah.
This one was fast.
There's no need to study it. We know that the teachers of Guam are underpaid.
Yeah.
We know that the nurses on Guam are underpaid. We know the cops on Guam are underpaid. I mean, there's no, you don't have to do a study. You just pick a number somewhere between 1 and 25, and that will do. And the number for these guys
we copy
is
Hawaii
20.
for everything, go to Hawaii and see what their teacher salaries look like. And
Sure,
then
why
apply
not?
here.
Why not? Because I mean, that's the next big market for teachers to go to. I've been, I've said over and over since the beginning of the pandemic, if you're a teacher on Guam, just keep an eye on things because you are the one that's going to get screwed. Of everybody that gets screwed on the island of Guam as a result of any kind of disaster, man-made and or weather-related or bug-related like this COVID thing, the teachers always end up getting
shape
screwed.
Our future because the children
What?
Children
I'm
are
sorry. What's
our
that, Senator?
future.
What did you say, Senator? That's the beginning of it.
That's going to be the music right there.
Right there.
I believe that children are our future.
Thank you, Joanna. Anyway, so we got all of that stuff, a bunch of stuff in the table of contents. Plus, we're happy to hear about rumors and things like that. So if you got some, be share because we still got 3.5 hours of talk radio to kill here this morning. And based on the table of contents, I might be reaching into some of my own personal Ray Gibson show archives, crap that we didn't talk about Monday, crap we didn't talk about Tuesday, and crap we didn't talk about yesterday. Because frankly, there isn't a whole lot outside of the teachers' pay raises and this deal with the ME candidate pulling out at the last minute.
Hey, but wouldn't you do it for $300,000? I'd do it.
What's that?
The medical examiner, I'd do it for $300,000.
I would unlimited supply of rubber gloves.
You know what? I'd save the government money. I'd do it for $100.
There was a time.
Maybe 150.
There was. I want to say that like Park back in the olden days.
I can't guarantee my work, but
Oh well, it's just that we just need to know what causes people's deaths and things like that. As an old age, COVID for everything. COVID for everything. Where's my extra $50,000? 6:25 in the morning. Lots to get to here, but we got a lot of potential medical examiner candidates here.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
And they're all here. They're all here. It's like back in Guam on a payday Friday. Everybody just sitting around. Hey, cuz, how you doing? Marcelo, what are we doing at barbecue over there this weekend? Bring out the jet ski. We got April Flowers Shelton at number 1 here today on the lineup. I'm looking at Greg Fausto. It's a whole series of new names.
Good morning, Mr. Fausto.
Yeah. So you know what it is? It's all these people who used to watch KUM and with Sabrina, but she's not there anymore, so they're all here checking us out. No, not that there's anything. It's cool. I'm glad that you made the discovery. I'm glad that you're here, and I want you now to be this kind of a cult. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's kind of a cult that we've got around here, centered around 93.3 The Point, and there are expectations that once you are in, number one, you like and follow, and number two, you share, like, follow, share, like, follow, share, and also in your spirit, like, follow, share. So do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the follow button, and share with whoever it is that you're watching, because we want more like you here. I got Greg Foster, like I said, TC Sanchez at number 3, the amazing Brad Wood coming in at number 4, Rico B, big man Rico B, and may I say, I finally had a chance yesterday after work to go through all of the bags and all the presents that were left for me over at Sidelines the other night, and I picked up a bag. And this is that.
Did it feel heavy, Ray?
It felt heavy.
Oh,
it felt
just
there
guessing.
There were 2 parcels on the inside. Parcel number 1, a reload, if you will, on Rico Blancaflor beetle nut. Now, I don't want to make a big deal about this, but I'm going to.
Craft,
Rico Blancaflor has got beetle nut. 2, no more than 3 bites at the edge, and the husk peels away. It just falls away. Like you ever have the ribs over at Chili's? Same thing. You shake it really hard and the meat falls off. Same thing. You bite this thing no more than 3 times and the husk falls away, revealing on the inside beautiful virgin beetle nut. Thank you very much, Rico Blancaflor. Also, there was another. It did feel heavy because there's 150 rounds of 9mm in there.
Oh, pew pew.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you so much, buddy. You ever like listen to news reports about so and so, and yes, they confiscated a gun and 1,000 rounds of ammunition. Like 1,000 rounds is a lot.
Yeah.
There's guys pick up 1,000
That's 1,000
rounds.
bodies, Ray.
This 1,000 rounds.
You never
because
miss.
We're going to the range this weekend. What do we got there? I got Brad Rico B, John Ray Titano is there, MT Farron, Kenneth Polino. There's beautiful Sarita Garin online here this morning, and Josie Cruz rounds out the top 10. So we say congratulations to those guys, especially the new members of our little cult here going on here this morning. Who is this playing around? Let me just get to the top of the list. And where'd I leave off here? Dale Audette, Joanne Fullerton. Yep, that looks right. Dennis Benzer. Kennedy Robinson is online. Carlene Harker saying, sending her good morning wishes. James Howard, come over to YouTube, Joe Cruz. I've got some timeouts for you. Yeah, cooked them up nice and hot. What is it? So, like, when you show up over on the YouTube side, the alternative school version of the Facebook Live, they put you in timeout immediately?
Put me in jail right away.
James Howard is the moderator there.
Hey, thank you, James.
Good to see you.
Way to go, bro.
Jerome McDonald online. Matt Galendez hanging out. Luke S.N. Angel. Justin Estacchio. Senator Jesse Anderson Lahan.
Woo woo, the body.
We say Biba. Bob and Connie Bartonico. Mark Voigtland checking in from the free zone. Bill Fritton is there. Kayana R.B. Mendiol is watching the program. I see Ed Massey, Leslie Senicolas, and looking for new names here. Sandra Rages checking in saying good morning. Onad. Biba. That's right. Biba to you. Onad Van Mendy Bagyao. Biba?
Yeah, Bagyao.
You want to?
It's beautiful.
What the heck? Chech Uggins. Sarah Lake is online saying good job to Dennis. Mark and Francis Ismael. Sorry I couldn't share on Facebook because it's not showing share on my end. Oh, that's interesting. Roland Meglotnia is watching the show. So is Patrick Iriarte. Oh, my God. The Nostradamus of the Pacific is online.
Whoop, whoop.
Shall we unblock him?
No.
The EOG assistant professors are overpaid to...
I'm just kidding.
Oh, my God. It's already begun. Listen. Patrick writes, the EOG assistant professors are overpaid to spy and cast spells for the Underwoods, Calvos, said the Leon Guerrero administration, Familian Harry Potter, and Familian Palaxi, taxpayer thieves. Maybe we should unblock him. I don't know. Zodzeri is there. I see Tattoo Shauna. Who showed out. Tattoo Shauna, and she didn't give me a gift certificate for a free, like, Super Yakuza tattoo.
Of course
But it's okay. But it's okay. You know what she did give me?
Full body tattoo,
she
one
gave
sitting.
Oreos and beef jerky.
Oh, wow.
Oreos and beef jerky.
Dude.
I couldn't love you more, sweetheart. Francesca Madrano is watching. Soledad Chargaloff. Good morning to my bro, Renee Lau. And I might have on separate cover, Renee and I and the entire U family are celebrating the birth here of, hold on a second, her name is, it's the first granddaughter of the family, Anja Renee. Anja Renee. And so
Congrats.
Okay, a little bit of inside stuff.
Send pictures.
This is Richard. That's what I'm asking for. It's Richard and Gigi's first granddaughter. For those of you that are familiar with the partner family.
She's a princess.
So she's going to be the princess. And now here's the other thing.
Probably already has a BMW.
Oh, it comes out speaking 4 different languages because all those kids are smart. But anyway, so it was one of these deals, and you're a mom, you know how this works, right? Where here's the due date, and then they go, okay, the due date's come and gone. Here's another couple of days, and everybody was kind of sweating out when is the baby coming out. So the baby finally came out, and the speculation was she would be born on my birthday, and sure enough, Yep. Anja Renee, born at the last possible minutes. I think is a stroke of almost the 12th. But I'm so excited about this.
You will never ever forget.
No, I will, and that's what I said. Great, one less thing for me to forget. Richard Leon, Cameron Mendiola, Francis Sablan, Ignacio, and Bing Kichitu all watching the program. Great to have you online here this morning. We'll check on the YouTube just to make sure everybody's checked in there as well. 671 Hadza is online. John Paul St. Nicholas hanging out on that side. Steve Klein kicking back in the very, very back chair of the bad boy school bus. Who's your big daddy? 06. I got Kichitu in Japan, and I think Kichitu in Japan gave me an exchange rate. I think it's 128 or so in the thing. Rico Blancaflor saying the alcohol is finally fully out of my system. So where are we drinking tonight? Happy Thursday to you, big man. Good idea. Welcome to the dark side. Welcome to what is it? It's you're not an alcoholic unless you go to those meetings. Right? So just don't go to those meetings and nobody will ever accuse you.
I think Jimmy's having a fundraiser tonight down at Venue.
Who is?
Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy Moylan.
Yeah. If
do
you're
me
looking for a place.
Joe, get a hold of Jimmy and confirm that.
Jimmy Craig.
Jimmy Craig Moylan.
Okay.
Confirm that he's got a thing happening over at the place.
Will do.
Well, I know. It's just an excuse to talk to him. I'm just saying. Yen 128.30 as of yesterday, and still it's good for you and I to go to Japan, but it's not really good for them to get out of here. That's right. Howard experiences 1,000 rounds. That's lunch. We call that lunch, baby. Gemma Bustamante is there. Troy Panji, Mel Young, and Trevor Salazar. Biba, go ahead and follow this channel. There's a thing that you can click on that says subscribe. So subscribe on it, and then every time I go online, even if it's just for a test or if it's just goofing off or something every once in a while, I'll have too much to drink, and then I'll go online. It's called The Morning Show. I'm just kidding. 6:34 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Lots and lots to get to here, plus whatever it is that you're going to be providing. But first, we jump to Montecillo Tyrant and find out what the big story is. It's time for headlines on the point. Hapamana, what happened?
At least two people were injured in a crash yesterday that took place in Jigo along Route 15. It happened about 6:30. When they arrived, it was a two-car collision. An unresponsive man was seen on the ground while a child was seen in the front seat of the passenger seat of a vehicle. The two were transported to GRMC. It isn't known their condition, though. Meanwhile, police have released the results of an autopsy that was conducted on a man who was shot down at a Harmon intersection, and it appears the death has been listed as a homicide. It'll now be up to the Attorney General to determine if charges will be filed against the officer who fired the fatal shot. Police have said the suspect was being chased down when they stopped him at the Harmon intersection where the shots were fired. Meanwhile, about 2,000 Guam public school teachers are set to get raises. The governor approved the recommendations from the Department of Administration. The raises are to go into effect on May 23rd. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
You got a note from Dennis Larson. He wants to call in. It's World Bee Day.
Oh yeah.
It's all the buzz.
What's a
Oh my God.
6:35. Be right back.
Knowledge is power. In just 60 seconds, the Evil 360 provides you a unique experience and a detailed report of your body composition for you to take action to improve your health. The Evil 360, turning information into inspiration to live a balanced lifestyle. Evil 360 is exclusively at the Take Care Wellness Center. Go to Simply Book Me or call 671-646-6956 extension 7260 for more information and to schedule an appointment with a member of the Take Care Wellness team.
Half a day. Patsy Gogri from Security Title here with information about what a title company does. The title side of our business determines who owns the property and guarantees your ownership with a title insurance policy. The escrow side acts as an independent third party, managing the transfer of money and documents between the buyer, seller, lenders, and others. Security Title has the management of real estate closings down to a science. Give us a call. We are here to help.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
6:37, Ray Gibson Show here, and that's the traffic sound effect, right? That's the music for the traffic. I suppose maybe I better take a look at the thing. All right, right now traffic. We call it right now because the deal is we can take a look at the gizmo, and it will tell us in pretty much real time what's happening on Guam's roadways. Right? Let me just zoom out here and see if there is any traffic we're speaking about right now. And generally at this time of day, there isn't. I mean, if you're new to Guam, we got two big deals. We've got traffic at Anderson Air Force Base at this time, traffic down at Big Navy at this time. The rest of it is all just kind of intersection traffic. So only a little bit of stuff at the front gate Anderson up north, south end of Guam over by the intersection of 1 and 2 for Big Navy and Sumai. Not a whole lot happening there right about now. If you got accidents or things like that you need to know about, fires near a school, 7978255 is the meme machine telephone number, and that's where you can send videos and pictures and leaked information about the comings and goings of certain political strategists for either and all parties. All right, where are we? 7:38. That's you right now. Traffic. This is The Point.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pica's Best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to naktak, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tuman location. Call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
Wow, nice smile. So perfect and all.
Thanks. I owe it all to Dr. Robert Yang and his smile team. They do wonders for a healthy, happy mouth.
Got teeth? Don't wait until they hurt. Schedule your routine checkup and cleaning with Dr. Yang and his smile team. Suite 119 in the East-West Business Center, Upper Tumon. Call 647-8702 or 3.
The best thing that happened to teeth since toothpaste.
Dr. Yang and his smile team.
They make smiles happen.
6:40 in the morning. Ray Gibson Chill. Portions of the program brought to you by the guys over at NissanGuam.com and the World Wide Web. And they live in the same world that you and I do. Nobody gets free gas. Their gasoline is $6.04 a gallon as well. So they have decided that they're going to at least make it easier for you to narrow it down. If you've got a new car purchase in your head, maybe you're going to want a car that will not cost you in terms of gasoline what other automobiles may cost you. So they've got the 30-plus mile per gallon club over at Nissan. More smiles per gallon, as they say. And the king, right now, it's the Leaf. 111 miles to the gallon. You might be going, how's that work, Gib? And I don't know. It's the magic of electric car technology. Only they have mastered that over at Nissan. So 111 comparative miles to the gallon with the Nissan Leaf. Learn more at NissanGuam.com on the World Wide Web. You are like an internal combustion kind of guy? Okay, no problem. We got a bunch of cars there that'll meet those requirements. Over 30 miles to the gallon for the Altima and the Rogue. 32. The Sentras and the Kicks get 33 miles to the gallon. Or, I tell you what, you're going to love the price on this. Super low price. And I'm not saying this is entry-level car, but it's priced like it is. The Nissan Versa, great sticker price, great technology on the inside, super safety features inside and out, and 35 miles to the gallon. If you want details, like I said, NissanGuam.com.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Did Musk put Trump back on Twitter yet? We're all waiting. He came out and made a few statements. He is not happy unless he's triggering liberals. Kind of like me. I feel like, and I've said this before, I always get that feel like, I get a telephone call from somebody who said, yes, Mr. Musk is in town. He's waiting for you on board his private jet at the Continental Hangar. You know,
Yeah.
over by where the skydiving guys are, right over by there.
Yes.
They got a little hangar there, a little private hangar. Yeah. So
The private jets.
Mr. Musk would like to hang out with you. He says, could you do him a favor, swing by the foodies and grab a 12-pack, 18-pack, and make a little ultras, and we're just going to have a sit down with Mr. Musk, if that's all right. And then we'd sit down and he'd say, have you tried this to trigger the people over at Adloop yet? Have you done this, that, and the other? We'd just compare notes. But anyway, he's talking about Twitter and the Trump suspension, and says it's amoral and just flat out stupid. And I'm going, yeah, that's right. I've certainly been enjoying Twitter more. Prior to Elon Musk taking over, I got to say, I just thought it was a cesspool. It was one of those places I felt I had to go to be able to see what people were talking about, what the big deal of the moment was, because Twitter can be like that. It's kind of a real time. It's happening right now, town square of ideas, but they were all stupid ideas until Elon Musk has come along, and now you've got people that are all these things that would have gotten them suspended before. All of a sudden, people are just letting that fly. You got people coming out and saying there's only 2 genders. And waiting for fallout that never happens. You got people coming out and say Biden stole the 2020 election. You just got to sit back and wait. You cover your head and wait for somebody to start throwing pitchforks and torches in your direction, and that just doesn't happen anymore. And it could be for a couple of reasons. Number one, they've turned off the bots on Twitter, or it's just we got some new sheriff in town. At any rate, speaking of new stuff, I got a notice in my email this morning from the AARP, the Association for the Advancement of Retired Persons or something like that. I've actually been a member of AARP since I was in my 40s.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because, I was... All right, so I
started early?
Because I was in talk radio, and I knew I was talking to people older than me. It's not like now, where generally I think I'm talking to either people my age or younger than me. But when I first started, I knew I was talking to people older than me, and I kind of wanted to get an idea of what the big topics were among them. You think, well, you figure out Part A and Part B, and retirement funds and cruise lines. Apparently, were another big deal. Jumping aboard a cruise. But they've come out with a new deal just for men. It is a bi-weekly newsletter for guys navigating the most important decades of their life. Now, the word, and I hesitate to use this because my sister is in the room, and she generally goes, makes that noise. But Dr. George Macris reached out yesterday and sent me a birthday greeting. And he says, welcome to your new demographic. I said, what demographic is that? He says, the sexagenarian. See?
What?
See?
WTH.
Did you hear the noise?
Yeah,
Did you hear the
I
noise?
did.
All right, so anyway, the arrow.
Oh, my God.
The Arrow from AARP is a free bi-weekly newsletter for guys navigating the most important decades of their life, from sex to sports, from finance to fatherhood, from classic rock and hip-hop to the latest can't-miss guy movies. The Arrow delivers authoritative, real-world advice and pop culture news for Gen X men in their 40s and 50s. Oh, crap, I'm too old for this, too.
Oh, yeah. You're in your primary.
Thank you, buddy. And so it's got a couple of screenshots, and I thought I'd share this by way of encouraging more of you to join up for The Arrow from AARP. Story on this one, How I Ate My Way to Health, Wealth, and Happiness. All right, that might be worth reading. A grown-up man's guide to a grown-up woman's body. Again, sports.
Hey.
Can I still wear that? Can I still wear that? A defense of age-inappropriate attire. Mona Silva Tyron, what's the worst thing in the world? These old guys in skinny pants, right?
No. Silkies.
Yes, you
Shut up.
See-through silkies and a pink tank top.
Yeah. But I didn't know I was going to be out. I didn't know I was going to be around
You
people.
can wear whatever you want.
It's true. Can I still wear that? A defense of age-inappropriate attire. Ladies that are listening to the broadcast right now, what item in his closet does he still wear at any age?
At any age, I would say a Speedo.
Holy underwear.
What is in the closet that he refuses to get rid of, still wears occasionally, that makes you absolutely cringe?
That's his
or a
wubby.
vest.
That's his wubby ring.
Vests are out.
I'm going to bring him back.
You're going to show up at the party with a vest on.
I'm going to bring him back. I'm going to bring him back. 6:45 in the morning. 888. Who's on the phone? Who's there?
That's the judge.
His honor. His
Our
honor. Okay,
yeah.
got it. Now he's going to go.
Some wisdom.
This better be important. Getting me up. I've got marine exercises that I've got to do, and I haven't gotten to my prayers yet. This better be an important phone call, Gibson. It's not actually. It's good morning, Your Honor. How you doing?
Real good. Ray, yourself?
Just living the dream. What can I say? It's nice for the outpouring of love and affection. You made it into Sarita Garin's timeline yesterday. Did you know that?
I did. Pretty Sarita Garin, yes.
Yeah. Where'd you run into her at?
At the SHRM presentation at the Dusit.
Did you get presented something, or you just lurking? Was there free lunch?
No, it was Vince Camacho from the Society for Human Resources Management giving us an update on all of the wonderful things that our national government is doing for us.
Hey, how about that? And including all the different changes and new rules and regulations that could be coming out as a result of warped lefty thinking and I don't know, just wokeness in Washington D.C.
Just one example, Ray. Right now, an exempt employee for Federal Fair Labor Standards Act, that is someone that does not accrue overtime pay.
Yeah.
The threshold is around $35,000. Under the new regs, it'll be $74,000. So anybody under $74,000 is entitled to time and a half.
That could be that's up there. That's some senior management level around here. That kind of dough in the private sector.
Yeah, well, leave it to the Democrats.
Wow. Okay, well, you got that. Did anybody chime in on Tina Rose Munoz Barnes's measure here that would provide assistance and relief for birthing persons? Birthing workers. That's what you referred to it as. Couldn't say women. Could not say woman. But so where's it going to be? Pregnant Workers Act.
Well, because you don't know which one of the multi-sexes in the workplace that could be, whether it would be a cisgender man, a transgender man, a non-binary man, or as Jose would say, a non-binary man.
Right. So I'm not entirely sure. And since we're giving everybody a hard time for their warped thinking and woke thinking, I can't tell if this is a real story or not. According to I got this in the meme machine. It says Mattel is unveiling a new pregnant Ken doll. There's a new pregnant Ken doll. I don't know. I think he's got everything coming in pink. I don't know what kind of baby is going to be coming from that. Bill calls for pregnancy fairness. Joe Titano, the second, writing in the PDN here this morning on a little bit of that and making it sound like there's like for every pregnant woman on Gone, any woman that's ever given birth has had to go through 9 months of a veil of tears, not just in the pregnancy, but apparently being ignored for alternatives for different ways to work with them in their offices, accommodations.
Let me insert my fangs into my mouth here.
Please.
And, obviously, given the current climate amongst the Democrats, any woman who is pregnant and is carrying the child full term must be punished.
Oh, that's true. That is true. Maybe. How are they going to deal with that? How are they going to deal with their a woman's desire to actually have a baby and then the request for special accommodations?
Yeah, that's a double whammy. Any woman ought to understand that she has a choice, and she not only doesn't need to do that, probably shouldn't do that
anymore. 10 away from the top of the hour. His Honor's on the line. Actually, the reason why I called is I intend to run in a race over the weekend on Saturday morning. It depends on what I do tomorrow night, but it looks like I should be free and clear on Saturday morning to run in the race judicata, which is a takeoff of res judicata, which is a term that is used in certain legal proceedings, and I'm not enough of a lawyer. They explained it to me once, but you know how I am, in one ear, out the other. So what does it mean?
Well, when I was in high school, Ray, it was recommended that if you wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer, you ought to sign up for high school Latin. So I took 2 years of Latin in high school. I couldn't get into medical school, though, because my handwriting wasn't bad enough.
Wait a second. I saw a note that you left me. That's not true. He left me a shirt. Anybody want to try to decipher this message? Here's a something shirt, Bob.
Grill marks, Ray. Grill marks.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. So the first thing you learn when you get to law school is how to mispronounce Latin terms. Because if you ever went into court and asked a judge for a writ of habeas corpus, he'd probably laugh you right out of the courtroom because everybody knows it's habeas corpus, right?
Yeah.
So
which is the legal defense. If you can't find the body, then you must be innocent. At least that's the way television and movies made it sound back in the 60s and 70s.
Exactly. So race is the Latin word for thing, and it is the nominative case, the subjective case. Rem is the same word, R-E-M, but it's the objective case. So you'll oftentimes hear of in rem proceedings, same word. Res rem means thing. So an in rem proceeding means it's against the thing. Res judicata means, res means thing, judicata means adjudicated. So res judicata, the thing adjudicated, or this matter has been settled by another court, therefore it's not possible that you could bring a suit on that same case or on that same claim because it's res judicata. Now, lawyers, being the clever creatures that they are, figured that'd be a real good thing to name a race, right?
Yeah.
A foot race, res judicata.
Are there any examples out of the court of res judicata that spring to mind? Off the top of your head, is somewhere where we might have used that to describe it before?
The goal of every case that gets filed in the court is that it get to the res judicata status. In other words, that the case be finished. Another use of the same term is, I've got it right here on the tip of my tongue.
It's okay.
Res ipsa loquitur. Res ipsa loquitur. Res thing, ipsa itself, loquitur speaks. Res ipsa loquitur, the thing itself speaks. And you find that from time to time. Example, if I went to the store and bought or I ordered a dozen eggs from the store, and by the time they were delivered to me, I had nothing but eggs running out of the box, I wouldn't have to prove negligence on the store because res ipsa loquitur.
It speaks for itself. Love that. Your thoughts now on just one other thing. I got this from the court yesterday. The judiciary of Guam will present the Justicia Award to Honorable Elizabeth Barrett Anderson, retired judge of the Superior Court of Guam. This is going to be happening today at 10 o'clock in the morning on the Route 4 building of the judiciary's campus. So congratulations, I suppose, to Elizabeth Barrett Anderson on the Justicia Award. Does that mean that you got skunked again this year? Did you not get the Justicia?
Yeah, I suppose so, Ray. I don't think that the consideration goes to the part of the law that is really very important. That would be talk show hosts. I think they're looking for something else.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I was unselected as well. 6:54 in the morning, and last thoughts for you here before I go is this one here. Apparently, the very, very speedy teacher pay study that is now concluded, and the good news for many teachers and some administrators are they're going to see an increase in their pay on the 23rd of May.
Well, I still, having come to the island as a teacher almost 60 years ago, Ray, I still test positive for the pro-teacher virus.
I'm glad that they've got it as well. I'm glad that they got some of that as well. Just, of course, now the operative language is going to be, election year. Nice. But they've been they've needed it for a while.
When you have a 2-year cycle in the popular branch of your government, in effect, every year is election year.
That's fact.
You'll see that people who are elected to the legislature and are sworn in January have their first fundraiser in February.
It's on the calendar, isn't it? That's when the venue is open for that kind of thing.
Exactly, contemplating the next election.
Roger that. Roger that. Your Honor, it's always a delight talking with you. We'll get around to hearing you at 4 o'clock this afternoon. You can hear him live on the radio, 93.3, or right here on Facebook Live, and he's got his own YouTube channel, The Bob Klitsky Show, so be on the lookout for him there.
I'll be there, Ray.
Bells on. Hugging a kiss to Anthony Lou. I'll see you pretty soon. Closing in on 7 o'clock in the morning. Items in the table of contents. Well, I got a few of those that I might get to as well. Ken Leon Guerrero complaining this morning.
No way.
That's not news. That's that in it.
Really?
But it's what he's complaining about. He says he wants to type in on Facebook Live, they botched the primary. And I'll break down the sentence here for you. They means Chirag and Tony Babout, et cetera, and Jensen, I'm sure, are in that little gaggle, that little trio here. Remember Casper the Friendly Ghost had the trio like that. Anyway, so he wants to write, they botched the primary, but apparently community standards on Facebook won't allow him to do that. He says, I blame Lou, naturally. When I click into the comment bar, community standards appears above the comment box and does not let my comment post. I'm postless today for some reason. Ken, I'd like to... First of all, nobody's complaining. Second of all, this is not the only venue that you've got for your political comments one way or the other. I will point out that there's a whole bunch of guys right now that might be feeling lonely over on the YouTube side. Maybe it's time that you explore your bad boy self and go hang out with Troy and Mel and Trevor and James and... the other guys, Lupang and the other guys that are at the YouTube side right now. A note from Howard Experience, the cannabis hearing starts at 9 o'clock this morning. Have you had a chance to take a look at all of the paperwork that's in there? I would have, but, I've just been so busy with COVID-19 and all the incredible community service acts that I do on a routine basis that I haven't had a chance to crack the multiple-page printout that is the Cannabis Control Board. I've decided that I'm probably going to, like many other things, just kind of watch this on the side and see what the fireworks are. Right now, it seems to me that everybody is kind of bending to the idea that, bristling over the idea that they have decided that the only nutrition that you can use for your recreational marijuana growth is organic. There's a bunch of guys that are saying, I can go to Crop King Hydro or ERC or Home Depot and get all kinds of other great nutrients that are not, quote, organic, that will give me a better yield, better grow, better taller trees, pretty flowers. I don't know what it is that you're trying to get.
Cucumbers.
Fatter cucumbers, man. We're talking about I was going to make a joke about eggplants again, but still early.
It is.
It is. But anyway, so that kind of whatever. So why is that in the realm of the Cannabis Control Board? Why can't they just say, here, just grow it what you want, and as long as we don't have these things coming out with eyeballs and arms and legs, then by all means we'll assume that it's safe. And guess what? It'll all get caught, as John Savaris was talking about yesterday. It'll all get caught when it goes to, if there's anything in there that's deadly or dangerous, it'll get caught when it goes to the lab, if we ever get around to building an actual lab for this kind of thing. So I don't know. There's that. Personally, I'm looking at some of the numbers. So if I want to get into the retail cannabis game, I've got to pay $12,000 for the license on that. Dude, my last name's not Calvo, or is that what we're trying to do, is to make it so, or Leon Guerrero, we're just trying to make it so it's only the rich families get a chance to wet their beak at all the different areas? Why? What added value do I get for that license that I don't get for everything else? Frequent inspections? More compliance from somebody? I don't know. I think that number's real high. I don't think that's going to encourage a lot of people to race for the entrance if they've got to pay that kind of dough just to get in the game. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. KUSG, I got you 93.3. We are The Point. This is The News.
From Capitol Hill to the voting booth, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden urging voters to elect more pro-choice senators as a bill to legalize abortion nationwide is blocked.
West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin joined all 50 Senate Republicans. The bloc moving forward on legislation designed to protect abortion access.
On this vote, the yeas are 49, the nays are 51.
Vice President Kamala Harris presided over the vote, championed by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, ahead of a Supreme Court opinion that could overturn Roe v. Wade.
This decision, if formalized, would be remembered as one of the worst and most damaging cases in the entire history of the Supreme Court.
But opponents say the measure goes beyond codifying Roe and would expand abortion beyond current legal limits.
Fox's Jared Halpern on the Hill. Ahead of today's vote, some House Democrats walked over to the Senate, chanting, "My body, my decision." Vice President Mike Pence says he hopes the Supreme Court sticks with a leaked draft opinion making abortion a state issue.
I truly do believe that it's a pathway toward literally lowering the volume on this issue by returning it to the American people and to their elected representatives.
Also telling Fox News he thinks protesters outside justices' homes are violating federal law. President Biden blaming Russia's president for soaring food prices.
The White House calls a summary of Biden's remarks the impact of Putin's invasion of Ukraine on food prices and supply at home and abroad, and the Biden-Harris administration's efforts to give farmers the tools and resources they need to boost domestic food production. Now, part of that plan will double funding for domestic fertilizer production, but farming takes gas, and gas prices are through the roof.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. Oil prices shooting back over $105 a barrel. America is listening to Fox News.
Hoffaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
$15 might not get you that far, but Chili's is bucking the trend with $15 meal deals. At Chili's, $15 gives you not one, not two, but 3-course meal deals complete with a drink, a starter, and an entree. Mix and match 3-course meals 15 ways to Sunday with soup, salad, or chips and salsa to start, and ranchero chicken tacos, honey chipotle crispers with rice, bacon ranch quesadillas, or personal fajitas for the main course. Build your own $15 meal deal at Chili's. More life and great value happen here.
A long legal fight over a convicted killer's mental capacity ends with Arizona's first execution in nearly 8 years.
Clarence Dixon was executed at Arizona's Florence prison for the murder of Dina Bowden 44 years ago. In 2008, when DNA evidence linked Dixon to her murder, he was already in prison for sexual assault. One of the media witnesses to his lethal injection was Fox 10 anchor Troy Hayden, who said Dixon's last words were that maybe he would see Dina on the other side, that he doesn't remember her. To the doctors overseeing the execution, he said,
"This is really funny, you're being as thorough as possible as you try to kill me. How twisted is this? You worship death, don't you?"
Dina's sister spoke after the execution and cried, praising her sister and criticizing the media for what she said was advocating for criminals rather than caring about victims. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
As COVID cases rise again in the U.S., some school districts, especially in the Northeast, go back to mask districts in Maine, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania already bringing masks back in school. A few in Massachusetts also recommending them. Meantime, the uptick in cases is considered a vast undercount because testing has dropped considerably, and many at-home test results are not reported. A baseball game gets COVID delayed.
Major League Baseball postponing Wednesday's game between the Cleveland Guardians and Chicago White Sox after multiple Guardians coaches and members of their traveling party, including manager Terry Francona, tested positive for the coronavirus. And they'll be opting to postpone to allow time for testing and contact tracing. This is the first game this season impacted by a COVID outbreak for an MLB ball club, with 9 games postponed across the majors last year because of positive cases. With Francona having tested positive, the Guardians will have bench coach DeMarlo Hale take over as manager in the interim, much as he's done the past few years as Francona has dealt with other medical issues. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
Inflation concerns rattling Wall Street again. The Dow and the NASDAQ both down more than 300 points. Elisa Brady, Fox News.
When the pandemic first started and we had no idea that it was going to affect our business till March of 2020. Orders from public health, roadblocks, restriction. It was a very hard time for me. What really has saved my business is the SBA and the PPP program. I felt keeping the employees was so important because I had faith that my government would help me later, the federal government. We applied and we received 2 PPP loans equaling up to $425,000. That money saved me because it's been 2 years. I think 80 or 90% of the restaurants are closed. The only reason I'm here because of my devoted clientele and the federal government.
Thank you for helping save jobs with federal funds.
Thank you to the federal government for all the federal ARP money.
Thank you for the federal funds.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael F.Q. San Nicolas.
Off a day at 7:06, I'm Monisova Tyron with a look at your local news on the point. If the governor and congressman don't commit soon, the speaker of the legislature is threatening to call off their State of the Island address. She reported on KUAM yesterday that she's given the governor and congressman a deadline now to respond. Typically, the addresses are held in the early part of the year, and despite the invitations having been sent to both officials, neither have responded. The speaker suspects that the parties want to hold their speeches closer to the election, but she says she's not about to let that happen. It comes as great news that Guam public school teachers, nearly 2,000 of them, will be getting significant pay raises. The governor yesterday approving the raises for workers covered under the Department of Administration's Educator Pay Plan. It covers 1,925 DOE teachers, special program consultants, teacher mentors, school administrators, counselors, and librarians. The change would increase the average pay salary by about $10,000 up to $58,741. The raises are expected to take effect on May 23rd. Meanwhile, the Guam Department of Education plans to release its master facilities plan by next week. That plan will cover the facility upgrades and repairs at about 41 public schools. Deferred maintenance costs total about $107 million, while school improvements and modernization set to cost about $143 million. DOE is using CARES Act and American Rescue Plan funds primarily to cover much of the costs in these plans. Well, more news right after this.
Are you looking for a new place to hang out with your friends? Let's go along the sidelines at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Located at 154 Iriarte Road, Unit 4 and 5 in Tamuning behind Royal Bigs. Sidelines, a hidden gem with nothing but great things to offer. Great atmosphere, great food, top shelf drinks, and a great team. What are we waiting for? Let the fun begin at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. See you there.
Convicted murderers Rudy Kanata and joiner Scott Sked are set to be sentenced in August, a court date set yesterday. The date they will appear for their sentencing is August 12th. Both face the possibility of life in prison after killing Umatic Mayor Daniel Sanchez last April. An accident early yesterday evening sent two people to the hospital with critical injuries. It was about 6:30 that police and emergency officials were called to the two-car collision on Route 15 in Jigo. According to the Guam Daily Post, an unresponsive man was seen on the ground several feet from the wreckage of a car, while the second victim, an underage girl seated in the front passenger side, was also seriously injured. A second vehicle was seen at the scene with its airbags deployed. The two individuals in the first car were taken to GRMC, and their condition this morning isn't known. Meanwhile, police have not released any new information on an auto pedestrian accident that they were investigating on Tuesday morning in Petey. The victim in that case was found unresponsive on the ground nearby the day-by-day market. He was taken to NRMC. He hasn't been identified, nor has his condition been updated. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with the weather.
Wait, no. This is no. I still got beetle net in my mouth.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Why is it's only 7:09.
I can read some more.
No, there's not that much going on. No, I don't want you to make stuff up here. I can do it. I just might choke on it. I'm just so Real Joe, just have something standing by just in case. They're expecting scattered showers mainly before 2 p.m. Partly sunny skies with a high near 88 degrees. East winds 8 to 13 miles an hour. I've got the graphic that I can put up on the screen. Partly cloudy skies tonight. Overnight lows 78 degrees. East winds up to about 10 miles an hour. Expected mostly sunny skies for tomorrow. Daytime highs 88 degrees. He didn't expect, humidity, et cetera, make it feel like 92 hot degrees wherever you happen to be. There's partly cloudy Sorry, the beetle is beginning to pull up on my tongue now. Partly cloudy in the forecast for tomorrow evening with lows around 78. And then Saturday, mostly sunny skies. As the man said, grill marks. Sunrise this morning, early 5:56. Sunset tonight is going to be at 6:39. I got to wipe my face here. That's news and weather together here on The Point.
Attention! Lolita Kamet is now with Hoffaday Realty. She'll always be that hardworking and passionate real estate professional who is committed to helping you make a difference in your life and helping you achieve the American dream of home ownership. She also specializes in commercial leasing, land sales, local residential sales leasing, military and corporate relocation. So for all your real estate needs, call Lolita Kamet now with Hoffaday Realty at 688-6743. That's 688-6743.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Get a personal loan for that summer vacation or to pay off those long overdue bills. Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña, now at the old Nanbo Insurance Building at 475-4545, Upper Tumon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, here to serve you.
Ray Gibson Show being brought to you by the guys over at American President Lines, APL, a global presence with a local home. Also being brought to you by Ron and Kim over at Security Title Escrow. They know what escrow stands for. They know what it will do, and then they know how to make it like the easiest part of your real estate transaction. So make sure no matter what you do, no matter who you're buying from, you check in with Ron and Kim at Security Title.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
Can't handle it, the topsy-turvy world of finance. Looking at some of the numbers, are they up or are they down? They're down again. And, I'm looking at what's happening with Tappas crude. Are they up? Are they down? West Texas crude up, down? I don't know. I just, maybe it's one of those things. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe, I should do it like the LEAC. I should look at because I'm looking at these things, and every day I try to come up with why is it like that? What happened? What was the trigger behind all of this? Did Bitcoin recover yet, Real Joe? Do you got a number for that?
It's 28 today.
No way.
28 lows.
Just getting worse.
Yeah.
There's people that are speculating. Not that I care, but there's people that are speculating that Bitcoin could go to zero. Can you imagine?
Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm just saying that there's something about the way that it crashed so hard. And the fact now that it's been several days of downward trending, there might be a lot of people that are going, okay, well, it's time to sell. This is it. Gut check time, people.
You want to fix that?
Bitcoin people.
Elon Musk.
Well, Elon Musk can fix it.
He can fix it.
Got it. 7:13 in the morning. Hey, welcome to the show. Ray Gibson program here, 7978255. You got any cool pictures that you want to share? Dennis Larson going to be on a little bit later on. He's got the bee thing going on next week over at Skinner Plaza. And it will be like last year, which was great, which was awesome. Last year, I'm sitting around, and I knew that, Dennis and a couple of his buddies, right, were bee buddies. I knew that they were like heavy into it, but I didn't realize how many other people, including folks that we know from here, Point family, that have also been bit by the beekeeping bug that are out there. Among them, I'll give you an example. Juan Carlos Benitez.
Oh, JCB.
JCB has got he's got bees in the backyard. You know who's got bees in the backyard?
Who?
Michelle Armenta.
Oh, that's right.
That's it. Our hot sister in Christ.
You got to try that honey.
Yes. Also has got beekeeping things in the backyard. Just amazing how many people are getting into it. If you spend any time at all on the Magagaga Highway, out just before you get there's like the clean old Teads places like Paul Packbeer's place, and you can see that they've got a big sign up there that says honey for sale. Yeah. So I mean, it's like everybody is doing this, and the great thing about it is, Dennis Larson brought me a big jar, and it's got the honeycombs on the inside of it. So you eat the honey, and then you can chew on the honeycombs. Really, really good, and like you don't even need a toothpick. They're that good because God made the bees, and the bees made the honey and the honeycomb. So it's all good for you. Anyway, so I got a picture of Dennis or somebody that looks like him in the bee stormtrooper outfit, going and doing a bee rescue. It will be interesting to hear the story behind this because you can see where the nest is, and you can see what looks like the man-made portion of that. You see it? No, I got it. That's as tight, I think, as I can zoom in.
Pet carrier.
It does look like the top of a pet carrier that a bee found and said, I wonder if the pet's still in there. 7:15 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. We'll take a quick look at what's going on in the markets. Jerry Roberts has got the extra point. That is ahead before too much longer. So let me get this in my eyeballs. S&P 500 off by 65 points. It has not been a good last couple of days for the markets. 3,935. Whatever you get from your investment company, don't look at it yet. That's off by a percentage and a half. NASDAQ off by 3%, 373 points in the red. 11,364 is where they closed. Dow Jones Industrial Average 31,834. That's minus 326 from yesterday's close. Asian markets, all right. FTSE is up by 104. Nikkei picks up 46. The Hang Seng picked up 190, and the Shanghai is green, but only by 22. VIX is down by half a point, and the DAX picks up 293 for the way they close. Big winners on the NASDAQ this morning. Electronic Arts, Exelon Corporation, Booking Holdings, CSX Corporation, and Keurig Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
I gotta find out what it is. What is Keurig up to? Are they doing something different now? Are they? Because they've always done the coffee, and then they went into teas, and I think they've got some other flavored beverages now that you can make with your Keurig device. And I'm trying to sort out now. Have they gotten into beer and wine yet? Because that would be a good reason to see them in the top 5. If you could just go to Payless and or Home Depot or wherever it is, and buy a whole bunch of these little K cups, and you stick it in the thing, and bam, out comes some kind of beer. Would that not be all right?
Yes. Like a Keurig vodka tonic.
Oh, you know what I got for my birthday? What somebody gave me for my birthday. It was very, very similar to what you bought me years ago. You remember years ago you got me one of those Mr. Beer things?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I've got
I still have mine.
I've got I've got the new and improved version of it.
Okay, glass bottles, not the plastic.
No, it's still got plastic bottles. I got what's the name of that beer that comes with the little porcelain top on it and the little mechanism?
Grolsch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you go buy me a 6-pack of those?
In Amsterdam. Send me.
Yeah. Well, I like those.
Send me right away.
Those bottles are good for
anybody that's doing their own home brew kind of things. But yeah, I got another one of those.
They have the cap that you can't lose.
Mm-hmm. Yes, which is what I like about it. And it kind of looks like you put some thought into things. So I might run to the store and try some of that, or just go and try some. Right? Just saying. If you're looking for something fun to do around the house, and you got like 4 or 5 weeks on your hand, that's one of the things that you're going to want to get yourself into. Just real quick, a couple of other numbers before we get to Cousin Troy. TAP is trading at $110.72. That's off by about almost 5.20, something like that. So it's nice to see the TAPIS numbers going down. And yesterday, you remember how excited, breathless even I was at the idea that West Texas crude was at under $100. That's gone away. West Texas now at $105.59. So it's swung completely over in the other direction, even more than it was prior to it going down to $99. So that's the suck of looking at these things every single day. And as you said, Bitcoin trading at where?
28,555 right now.
Yeah. All right, and just because now all of a sudden there's a new relevance in my mind to what's happening with currencies. So take a look at what the number is for the American dollar versus the Japanese yen. You can now get 129, almost 130 yen. It's 129.95 yen to the U.S. dollar, which is great if you and I were going to go and drink beer at that Lion bar in Ginza.
Oh, yeah.
We'd be able to get a few more drops.
Let's go buy some land there right now.
I know it, right?
Let's buy it up, Ray.
I got you. 130 yen to the U.S. dollar, but the bad news is it means when they come to America, when they bring a yen to America, they're only getting 76 cents for that, which is going to be a drag on tourism coming from that source market. 20 after 7 o'clock in the morning. That's all the numbers that we're going to give you this morning, and time to greet Cousin Troy to the broadcast this morning. Good morning, Cousin Troy. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning,
Ray.
my
Good
most
morning,
favoriteest, beautifulest cousin in the whole wide world.
my favorite and beautifulest cousin in the whole wide world, and the real Joe Cruz.
Hey. Good to have everybody online here this morning. Now, a variety of stories that come to us from Canada yesterday, and I thought one of the more interesting ones had to do with just the craziness in our criminal justice system. And I'm here to tell you, we are not the only ones. There was a story on Fox News just in the last hour. They were talking, I forget where it was, but complaints being made that the cops keep arresting the same guys, and the courts, that is the prosecutors and the courts and the judges, keep letting them out. And then around here, we just got the craziness of the different kinds of sentencing standards that they're looking for from the Attorney General's office. You had a story yesterday of a thief. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's just kind of ridiculous when you compare one with the other. A thief who could be looking at as much as 70 years at the Department of Correction, and then you've got a child rapist who is able to plead down to 15.
Yeah, and the most bizarre thing, or I guess the outlandish thing, is that on the minimum range of this, I think 19-year-old thief, I can call him a petty thief. He stole like $500 in a pack of menthol cigarettes. I wish we named the brand. On the minimum end, he's going to get 16 years, which is 1 year more than child rapist Paul Moffinis is getting for raping a Tumaling Elementary School student. It's just crazy, and I'm not saying that what the thief did was a good thing.
Well, I mean, between the two of them, it's interesting because they both apparently got priors and had been gaming the system for ever and ever and ever. Amen.
But the child rapist prior is child rape. I mean, and then there's the issue of how is it that the maximum number of years that our law allows for a child rapist who strikes again is 25 years. Yet a thief is going to get 70. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And for the Attorney General to celebrate 2 weeks ago that he pled down this child rapist who confessed to the crime to 15 years, and then celebrate yesterday the 70 years that this thief might get, it baffles me.
It is baffling what is happening there, and unfortunately, it's the same kind of befuddlement that people in our position are looking at all across the country, around the nation, and the world. As I said, it's happening everywhere. I got a story in Hawaii about a Hawaii probationer there that has been allowed to use crystal methamphetamine. Courts documents show a man in Hawaii suspected in an attack that left a security guard in critical condition this week was a fugitive who was supposed to have been in jail. He's in jail now. The attack, the latest in a rash of violent crimes involving repeat offenders. We've got some serious problems around here, and among them, we need to be sending out some clear messages. I don't necessarily have a problem with a guy going in for 70 years in cases where he's got number one priors, commission of a felony with the deadly weapon involved, and all. Yeah, I hear what you're saying about a petty theft, $500 in a pack of cigarettes, but it's not his first time. And we need to send a lesson out to everybody. But are we going to send out a lesson for these guys that want to rob grocery stores? And we also want to send out a lesson to the guys that would commit their perversion on little kids.
Yeah. And the other thing that's the problem with our political system is why are we going to pay for 70 years of housing for this thief who may have been. This could have been corrected through a whole range of social issues, starting from the home and into the public education system. I mean, we're just turning them out to the wards of the state. It's baffling. There are some immediate changes that should be made, like change the Attorney General. There are some midterm changes that can be made, like fixes to our criminal justice system. Then there are long-term solutions that need to be instituted, like our public education system, and how we treat families here.
There's so many different places where we can jump into that conversation, but I think the first thing that we need to do is get rid of any kind of limp-wristed thinking when it comes to dealing with criminals. It always feels here like the systems favor the criminals as opposed to the victims of the crimes.
Someone said, I posted it on my personal Facebook. I think it was Dave Cook who commented. He said about the thief. He said he may as well have been caught with a bag of meth, so he wouldn't have served any time.
Exactly. Maybe that's the thing. Is always just have some of this stuff in your pocket. Absolutely crazy. What's happening? I thought I'd take a look. I don't know if I've got it printed out in a handy place for me, but the voice of Will Castro has spoken up in the NMI. Did you get those messages yesterday?
No, but I saw Will at the mall. He just completely snubbed me.
What? What?
Yeah.
Is he mad at us? Is he mad at you? Oh, look, if he's mad at you, then he's mad at me too.
We don't say nice things about him on Candid, but hey.
Oh.
So
yeah, but if it's true.
But I thought he always looked up to you.
But if it's true. Oh, God, that's funny. Oh, my God, that's funny. It's a short joke, guys. It's a short joke. CNMI Republicans report a successful golf tournament and dinner banquet. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the high point of being the chief of staff for the governor of the CNMI, as you get to write press releases about golf tournaments and dinner banquets. This is from Will Castro. Actually, was sent out to a bunch of guys. I'm looking at the picture to see if there's Will's in that particular shot. At the CNMI Republican Party's board of directors meeting last night at their campaign headquarters, it was reported that 134 players and 600 plus attendees participated in the golf and dinner banquet, respectively. It was a wonderful show of support from our community. It's a full day of great sportsmanship on the links and a relaxing evening of fellowship over dinner. I was happy to see so many people enjoy themselves. All positive vibes. Todd's that negative, says Governor Ralph DLG Torres. All right, so it's one of those, while Rome is burning, Nero is fiddling, right? And then another one here, and I saw this and I thought, you guys are getting kind of salty on their language. There's a statement on a court ruling. I'm not entirely sure which ruling this is, because it doesn't make sense to me being an outsider in terms of CNMI politics. The courts ruled that there is no conspiracy. Tens of thousands of dollars were needlessly wasted by Senator Manglona, and the Democrats' failed attempt to delay the process. What process are they referring to among the Republicans?
I'm not sure. Senator Paul Manglona has filed a couple of motions in Superior Court of the CNMI, so I'm not entirely sure which they're talking about. None of them involved conspiracy is a crime, so I don't know. None of them involved a conspiracy charge, so I'm not entirely sure what they're talking about. It sounds like they made a vague statement in reaction to something, but
well, but I love the language that they're using. I must say this is some colorful rhetoric. We thank Judge Pro Tem Bellas for following the rule of law. His ruling reinforces our trust in our judicial system. His ruling is testimony that despite the noise and disinformation campaigned by the Democrats, the judiciary maintains its long-standing and respected reputation as being an independent, noble and rational body of jurists governed by the rule of law and not emotions or political innuendo.
Well, if I were the governor's office over there, I'd be way more concerned about the case that was filed by the Attorney General, a criminal case against the governor that is going through the judicial system over there. And then in the short term, I'd be way more concerned about how the people of the CNMI react to the start of the impeachment trial tomorrow morning. In the CNMI Senate. And if the CNMI senators, who are most of them cronies of the governor, end up dismissing the articles of impeachment against him, there's
political expediency.
Yeah.
But I mean that's out in public. Everybody's going to be able to see that. It's not like you can hide it. We're not. It's not like we're going into executive hearings or things like that. I mean, this is going to be on television. It'll be carried by Candid. The newspapers are going to be covering it. So when an obvious crony it tends to ignore or downplay the matter in front of them, it should be obvious, you're supposed, to the voters there.
Yeah, it is obvious to the voters there. Anytime one of those senators have tried to get away with,
you cannot wiggle out of this here. You're going to have to make a decision. It's going to be like, how do you feel about boys playing in girls' sports? How do you feel about abortion? You're going to have to take a position. That's what we elected you to do. So get up there and do it. Cousin Troy, I got to let you run. Mana's got to take care of news and headlines.
You guys have a great morning.
Oh, we will. Hey, when are we going to make the announcement about the, you know what?
Oh, you can make it now. It's official. We're having a debate.
Okay. All right. But so here's the announcement. Cousin Troy, Candid News, The Point are presenting a debate between former Governor Felix Camacho, current Governor Lulian Guerrero, and Congressman Mike San Nicolas. All of them are gubernatorial candidates, and the debate will take place on Candid and simulcast here on 93.3 The Point. And if we can work out the technology, you'll be able to watch it on Candid, watch it on our Facebook Live and YouTube features, etc. But that's not the important part. The invitations now, and we will set up the debate. Invitations have been sent to Felix and to Mike and to Governor Lulian Guerrero, and we are waiting their positive response to the date, which will be the 31st of May.
Yes, sir, at 5:30 p.m.
And we have to do it before 7:40 when the air conditioner goes off.
Yes, and hosted by Mona Silva Tyron and Philip Leon Guerrero of the Guam Daily Post.
Because if Cousin Troy and I were anywhere near the microphones, at least one of the candidates would say, "Oh hell no."
I sent you the graphic that Eric put together. It's very nice, very nicely done.
7:31 in the morning. I'll take a look at that while the news and headlines are playing. I'll talk to you pretty soon, Cousin Troy. You have a fantastic day. I'm looking forward to getting some more messages from you in the one WhatsApp group that's not muted right now.
Yes. Thanks.
All right, guys. You have a great day. 7:31 in the morning, 888-825-5888-TALK. Hold on to that number. We'll get you on the air here in just a few minutes. In the meantime, we've got to jump over because you want to do extra point? You want to do extra point. Okay, well, extra point, and then Mona Silva Tyron with news and headlines. Right now, extra point with Jerry Roberts, brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
I'm reading an article in a relatively prestigious business publication the other day, which covered the topic of accountability. This is something I regularly cover in my training courses, so I'm interested in the author's take. Then she jumped the tracks, and I just couldn't imagine where she went with the conversation. I'll explain this next on the Extra Point.
Get big discounts on huge travel experiences with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. You can travel to destinations in the USA and receive 10% off selected United Airlines Premium Economy or Business Class airfares purchased through May 31st, 2022 when you use promo code FHB022. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to FHB.com/United Fair Sale 10 for more information. Don't wait. Apply today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
The article on accountability started off okay, giving a basic summation of the concept. You have to rely on other people to get important stuff done. If they don't step up and do what is needed, then chaos can ensue and things quickly fall apart. So far, so good. This is a fundamental of organizational life. You give me a job to do, and you trust that I'll do it. However, there's a second level to this. Not only do you believe that I can get the task accomplished, you know that I take, and here's the key word, ownership of the situation. I accept responsibility for delivering the job the way you want it and when you want it. There's another level to this, and it's also based on ownership. But I'm going to put that on hold for just a moment and get back to what the author did that made every hair I don't have stand on end. The author began to say that one problem with accountability was the confusion that could surround it. In their words, accountability could mean different things to different people, even in the same team. Further, that words like accountability, responsibility, and ownership are used interchangeably, which furthers the confusion. Don't forget those words. And let me add one more, authority. The author of the article also said that accountability is often only discussed after things have gone wrong and people are scurrying about, covering their behinds and trying to affix blame on somebody else. There was more, but you get the general idea. I'm not saying this writer is totally off base, but everything was made unnecessarily complicated. Do you remember a few moments ago I mentioned the other level to accountability? It's foundational to the whole concept of delegating work to others. Here are 4 quick and easy steps to the whole issue of accountability. Step 1, the person delegating the job is accountable to make sure the person accepting the job is ready to do the work. And that person, in turn, then becomes accountable for the results. Look, if the person selected is not ready to take on the job and I choose them anyway, then it's my fault if something goes wrong. Step 2 is when you are prepared and confident you can be successful in the work, you will likely have no trouble accepting responsibility for the job and to be held accountable. Step 3, if you're prepared and confident and are willing to put your name on the project, then I will be more confident and more willing to give you partial and perhaps complete authority to make decisions on budget, resources, and how to do the work. Step 4, if I give you the authority to make this project yours, including much of the decision-making, will you likely have trouble taking ownership? No, I don't think so. I don't think that would bother most folks who want to be active in this process. As they say, it ain't rocket science. Train people from the get-go on what responsibility, authority, and accountability mean in your organization. Train them in this from the moment they hire on, and you will be way ahead of the game. That's the Extra Point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
736 Ray Gibson Show. Thank you so much, Jerry. Brought to you by the guys over at First Hawaiian Bank. Quickly now into news and headlines with Montesilva Tyrant. Programming note, she's not going to be here for the 8 o'clock newscast, and I'm probably going to blow off the 8:30 newscast. I haven't decided which one we're going to be. Yeah, it's one of those things.
It's up to you.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's go. But
It's your show.
But I do have the script for the 8 o'clock news.
You do.
All right, very good.
I sent you all of it.
Montesilva Tyrant with the 7:30 news, brought to you by the guys over at Burger King, celebrating 33 incredible years here on Guam, and they're helping. You can help them celebrate by ordering yourself one of those Whopper melts. They're great tasting and good for you. Come in a variety of flavors. One is the Whopper melt. The other is the Whopper bacon melt, and the third one is the Whopper spicy melt with jalapeno chips on the inside of it. And Rudy Rodolfo is going to have a special one made just for me that has bacon and the jalapeno chips in it. It's the Ray Gibson melt. Find that today over at Burger King. Also brought to you by Lolita Kemet with Holiday Realty at the number 688-6743. Now with news and headlines. Avamana, what happened?
Well, police are investigating a two-car collision that took place early yesterday evening that sent 2 people to the hospital. A man who was seen unresponsive on the road was taken to GRMC along with an underage girl who was in the front seat of a vehicle at the scene. Police are investigating that crash. The condition of the victims isn't known this morning. It comes as great news to about 2,000 DOE employees. By May 23rd, they'll start to see an increase in their pay. The governor yesterday approved the raises. It covers teachers, special program consultants, teacher mentors, school administrators, counselors, and librarians. Again, the raises will take effect on May 23rd. And if the governor doesn't respond, nor the congressman, the Speaker of the Legislature is threatening to call off their State of the Island address. Usually these speeches are held at the early part of the year, but the Speaker says invitations have been sent to both and neither have responded. She's now threatening to just cancel the speeches altogether. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
Because it's going to be too close to the primary election. There it is. We don't want to set up the People's House of the Legislature as just another one of these just kind of puny locations for a fundraiser, for a speech, half-hour speech to the people of Guam. We don't want the legislature to fall into that. Oh, now they're going to exert their authority. Now they're going to be like, okay, we're a second branch of the government.
Well,
You better start acting like one.
The governor, the congressman don't have to have it at the legislature. Eddie Calvo had his at the museum one year.
Yep. So you lock in the venue if you want to. If you don't want to, it's all right with us. 7:38 in the morning. And just real quick, we were talking about bees, and we'll talk about bees a little bit. You know who's got a bee thing? Tattoo Shauna.
Oh, yeah.
These are the bees in her collection.
Oh, collection.
Bees and actual hornets.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's what we've got here. Thanks very much, Tattoo Shauna.
Entomology.
Appreciate that. Love to see the tattoo of a cute bee. 7:40 in the morning. The Ray Gibson Show continues after these.
Half a day. My name is Jerome Kinata from the village of Umate. I've applied for the program in Salapi to help me in my daily commute from Umate to Manila. Thank you to this administration for the program in Salapi.
The application deadline for program in Salapi has been extended to May 22nd, 2022. For more information, please visit doa.guam.gov. This ad was paid for by the Office of the Governor using government funds.
In celebration of our 33rd anniversary, BK's new Whopper Melts are here. Our Whopper Melts feature 2 slices of toasted bread layered with 2 Whopper Junior patties for a quarter pound of plain grilled beef, melty American cheese, caramelized onions, and stacker sauce. Whopper Melts now available in a spicy and bacony variation made for our big Whopper fans. Top off your meal with jalapeno cheddar bites and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Get your hands on the new Whopper Melts now available for a limited time. BK, Tumon Bay, Aganya, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. BK your way.
Yeah. Okay, got you. 888-8255. I've just got word that Blake Watson, former sports guy, is on the line here, and the question is he's not drunk, is he?
Oh no,
He's
no.
not going to be one of those where I was just thinking about you guys and Guam, and I miss you so much.
I miss you too, bro.
I'm just kidding, Blake. I'll get to you in a second. I got B-Man Dennis Larson on the line. He's not drunk either, though, right? Okay, gotcha. His buddy Coburn gave me a thing of that mead, and I got to wait for a special occasion to crack that. At 20 away from 8 o'clock in the morning. Right now, traffic on the point. Let's see what we got for you. What's working here over the maps. Standby 1, refresh here. Thanks. Yeah, I probably should have done this while the news was playing. Oh my God, look at what's happening on Route 3. That is just ridiculous. Pretty much all the way. You know where the UR market is up there? No, you don't, because nobody's ever gone that far up Route 3. A lot of you just turn around and go, wait a second. Did this just turn into Marine Drive a second? Did we already pass Potts Junction? It's almost all that way up there. So watch out for traffic delays. Must be an accident or something like that. We've got traffic southbound on Route 3 snagged up until you get to the intersection. And then the intersection is going to be wide open from there. Everybody up there is not making it to Marine Corps Drive. So if you're just coming in through Wysang and some of the other intersections up there, you should be all right. Look at a little bit of traffic over by DPHSS, over by the Guam Farmers Market. That area into the roadway. Looks like we've got some traffic lined up there. Otherwise, 16's looking pretty good until you get to the McMobile intersection. And just watch out for some delays for there. Maybe there's something, I don't know, they're selling Christmas trees again over at Cost You Less. That's the only thing I can think of. Let me see, looking at regular traffic inbound, I got Route 8 snagged in a bunch of different directions. Dogging out traffic for sure over by the Payless and over by the Harvest Christian. We've got car line happening there. A lot of traffic on Route 4 into the downtown Agutnia area. And Big Navy in Sumai is running busy as usual. 742, there's your right now traffic. Ugly on Route 3 on the point.
Choosing health insurance for my family is difficult. I need to know our health insurance will protect us now and in the future. Take Care members have access to the island's largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs, and a high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers, including the convenient one-stop FHP Health Center and urgent care. My family choose Take Care. Your family should also consider choosing Take Care. Call 671-647-3526 for more information. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Win a $100 gas card when you purchase Gasolina energy drinks. Be one of 5 winners and enter now when you purchase 3 for $4 Gasolina 8-ounce or 3 for $5 Gasolina 16-ounce energy drinks. Drawing on June 21st. Free gas with 76 Circle K. Take it easy. Get a 10-pound bag of ice for only 95 cents when you purchase a 12-pack or more of any soda or beer. Only 95 cents for a 10-pound bag of ice. Swing by Circle K today. Some conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy.
Hey, did we do celebrity birthdays yesterday? Besides me, we did, right?
Yeah.
You know what sucks is that cooler birthdays today.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk is got a birthday.
Oh, the Hawks.
Yeah. Skateboard legend, skateboard god, Tony Hawk. They named a video game after him, right?
Yes.
Blake's got one of those. Good morning, Blake Watson. Welcome back to the Point. It's good to have you online.
Thank you, sir. How are you?
Groovy. I celebrated my 60th birthday without you yesterday.
Well, that's why I'm calling. I was put on hold for a long, long time, and that was after calling for 20 minutes, and the real Joe Cruz didn't even want to take my call. I guess
he's like that. You know how he is.
Yeah, it's fine. No, it's fine. You're a hard guy to get a hold of.
I'm a hard guy to understand, but and so many women have tried. So where on the planet are you right now?
Dallas, Texas. I'm back home.
Oh, in the free zone. How's your mom?
She's good. She's good. She's somewhere in the panhandle of Florida, I think. She is made Master Chief in the Navy, and she's just her and her Airstream are somewhere on the eastern seaboard.
That is awesome. And wife and babies, how they doing?
They're doing good. So they've grown 5 and 3. And then the wife is now teaching out here in Dallas in these school districts. So, she's got pretty steady gig, and everybody's doing good.
Well, it sounds like you don't need to work. So mom's got the Master Chief thing, and the wife's got a good teaching job out here. They just gave the teachers a raise, so let her know about that. Let her know that she missed, I think, 20% or something like that in the next pay period. I've been getting details on that before too much longer. Have you found a gig yet? Are you working? Are you doing sports anywhere?
I do sports in some local publications, some local rags here outside of like Denton County, Texas, but mostly, I just kind of try to watch the Mavericks lose to the Phoenix Suns in the playoffs.
Everybody's got some disappointment that you've got to make it through. 7:45. Hey, listen, I got to let you run. I appreciate the telephone call. I'm going to put you on hold so that Real Joe can get a telephone number, and I'll beep you a little bit later on the WhatsApp and let you know of all the other stuff that you've missed since you've been out of town. You and the man bun have been out of town. In the meantime, I got to continue with the program. I got Dennis Larson, the B-Man, online. Hey, Dennis, how you doing?
Hey, Holiday Ray, Holiday Guam, doing well.
Oh, I'm glad you're doing well. I got you sent me the paperwork here, and I put it up on the screen of a guy inside of a bee suit, and I thought that was you, but as it turns out, that's Rob Greeno in there.
That's Rod digging some bees out of the outboard boat engine, of all places.
Oh, man, I should have done a contest on that. I should have gone a contest on what exactly the bees made their home, and it's an outboard engine that they decided that's where they wanted to live.
Yep. Got a call. There was some bees in a boat, so we went down and we pulled off that cover of the boat. You can see that the honeycomb is perfectly formed to the shape of the boat engine cowling there, which is pretty incredible. They do a lot of incredible things, and so we continue to get the phone calls and the texts and the emails about the bee swarms. We really appreciate that, Guam. Keep it up. It's very important that we save as many of these colonies as possible.
747, there's a lot of places where the colonies are dying off. Fortunately, we've got a bunch of healthy bees here on Guam, and they seem to be spread out all over the island. Don't call the exterminator. Well, call the exterminator, because the good exterminators will get a hold of Dennis and the bee community here, and they'll find the queen in all that mess, and then the queen will send out the whatever the smell is, and all of the other bees will say, "Oh, she's moved. Let's follow her," and that will leave guys like Dennis and Rob and others to go in there and harvest whatever they can from the old houses and put them in a place where they're going to be comfortable and where they'll be productive, making honey and wax and that kind of thing.
That's right. Now you got to take my hat off and say a big thanks to all the hardworking beekeepers out there. Everybody's working and working hard trying to keep it going. The reason for our call is 1 week from today, next Thursday, not today, but the Thursday, the 19th, is World Bee Day. So we're gearing up for that, and we're going to be holding our annual event again down at the Skinner Plaza on Thursday, the 19th. That's at the food truck event. Now, the museum has given us permission to set up our thing in the center of the field this time.
Oh.
So we've got a lot of interactive things for the kids. We've got some bee games coming up, and there's going to be the second annual honey tasting competition.
I'll be there.
All kinds of different. I think you were a judge last year.
I was a judge last year.
And had you a judge last year, so hopefully we can keep up with that great tradition. And we've got a lot more members now. We're up to like close to 50, and there should be a lot of tables and a lot of displays from all of the beekeepers. So we look forward to seeing everybody come out on next Thursday, the 19th. We plan to send somebody with some bees maybe to your studio this coming next Tuesday, so look forward to that.
No, I'm looking forward. Well, I tell you what, one of the things that I thought was pretty interesting was there was one of these kind of glass things that you could look through, and there's the bees on the inside, and you could see where they had the little honeycombs and making honey, and just living the bee life. And then there were a whole bunch of bees from around Skinner Plaza, or I thought from around Skinner Plaza, but you were telling me that they might have been coming in as far away as Sinahanya and up in Agania Heights. Smelled things, thought there might be something going on at the Skinner
Plaza.
Plaza.
Juan Carlos's bees, maybe.
That's what you said.
Down from on top of the hill. They have about a 3 mile radius, but we do got a lot of healthy populations on Guam. But as they come out and they swarm, we want to try to be able to save them, grab them, and put them into boxes and domesticate them and take care of them, and of course reap the benefits of getting that fresh honey.
It was an eye-opener in a lot of different places, and among them, there was going to be a honey tasting contest, and folks from all over the place, because it was one of those things where, hey, you're going to be a judge here, and so you try out these honeys, and I know that the pedestrian might be going, oh, what's the difference? Honey is honey is honey is honey, and the honey tastes different based on where it is that they're doing the foraging and what the predominant kind of fruit or plant is in that area.
That's correct. We've had some great help from the university. One of the students up there, she's doing a great project where they've been coming out and testing pollens from all of the different apiaries, and then they give us a report on that pollen and tell us exactly what it is that the bees are eating. And if you're wondering why the Guam honey is so wonderful, there's like 20 plus different flowers and nectars in my honey alone, and I know that the bees are feeding on just about the same stuff all around the island. But yes, it does take on very specific tastes and very specific qualities, based on what they're consuming at the time. So never a boring moment.
Well, it's just a handful of things that you'll be able to learn, that the kids will be able to learn. We need to teach the kids not to be afraid of bees, because bees are our friend. Dennis, bring some folding money with you, because there's always something that you might want to be able to buy at food truck night. Not to mention some of the things that you might be able to do to support the bees and the people that are in the bee community here.
Yeah, the Guam Beekeepers Association doing the great work. Come out, support, and there will be lots of honey for sale. And like I said, we have our president, Chris Rosario, and Mr. Keith Quintanilla, who is he's actually gotten into rearing queens. He's got a queen raising program. We've just gotten the permission to start exporting queens around the globe to start helping out bee populations that are dwindling in other places. So Guam actually might potentially help to save the day for a lot of these places that are having problems.
7:51, Dennis. Always a pleasure talking with you. Greater pleasure seeing you as we did on my birthday night. Glad that you and Viv were there.
Happy to have been there. You guys have a great day. Have a great weekend, Guam.
7:52 in the morning. You want details? Find him, and if you can't find him, find me, and I'll let you know. Might be hard to find him on the Facebook right now. I think he's in Facebook jail. Speaking of Facebook jail, Ken Leon Guerrero claims that the community standards would not allow him to post on Facebook Live this morning. Good morning, Ken.
Yeah, I committed the heinous crime of opposing policies from Adelup.
What is Adelup doesn't have any, as far as I know, there are no connections. There might be tentacles. I don't know that Chirag's or Tony's or Julian's tentacles reach into Facebook so that they could in real time censor anything that you've got to say.
Well, that's the only reason I can think of, that my comment in response to your observation that you weren't going to call the Democrats' failed primary failure. And I said, all right, I'll call it. They failed, and it wouldn't let me post. It kept flashing community standard,
All you were trying to say was that they botched it.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let me make a comment on that. But that wasn't the reason why I called this morning. This morning I called to make a prediction.
Go ahead. I'm standing by.
Most of my predictions with this administration, unfortunately, this will also come true. And the prediction is that, remember, when Frank was running as an independent, Lou pulled out of every debate where Frank was potentially invited and sent word out to the community that she would not attend any debate or any public forum that invited Frank Uggan. So I'm predicting that she's going to do the same thing on any event that invites
Mike Sinicholas. 7:50.
And you heard it here first.
7:53. I'll tell you what, I had not factored that into our thinking. I thought if she was going to pull out for any reason, it's because it had to do with the point and Candid, and honestly, and for all intents and purposes, we have been at odds with many of the decisions that have come out of Adelup since the beginning of the administration, and quite a number of the decisions that were made during COVID-19, we were up in arms against. So this would not necessarily, which is why we thought that maybe we'll get a couple of other independent independent voices out there. Philly and Guerrero, journalist for the Guam Daily Post, Mana Silva Tyron, who is here in the studio, and by necessity, generally will shield any bias that she has in some of the conversations. So, it should be, as far as the moderators are concerned, I mean, I wouldn't even be there. I'd be here doing the technical part.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. But the fact that remember, BJ was the one that coined it first. Adelup is where common sense goes to die.
Well, I say it was math. It was math, but yeah, common sense, sure.
Yeah. Well, here is an opportunity to get before the massive candidate and the massive point audiences. Here's a chance for them to speak directly to the people. And the reason they're going to avoid it is because they don't want to answer questions that have anything to do with their administration. And let's go back to the Programa Salapi press conference. I raised an issue there about the restrictions they had placed, one check per address. I pointed out that we have 2 or 3 generations living at one address, and because of the high cost of housing, we have multiple households sharing, couples and, multiple people sharing an address. And then later on, they said that was a mistake in communications, that we didn't understand what they were saying. And even though I go back and look at the recording, yeah, okay. So what we're looking at here is the reason I'm predicting that they won't come, and it's not because of candidate and because of the point being the host. It's because the possibility that they will be asked questions to justify many aspects of their administration.
Well, but now I get that, and we've had a few conversations about the nature of the questions. And I mean, if we ask a pointed question about as an example, somewhere along the line in the last 4 years, where here's the question: how you botched this policy, you botched that policy. How will Mike be able to respond to that? How will Felix be able to respond to that? And frankly, I'm also very interested in what the plans are moving forward for all 3 of the candidates. I'd like to hear a little bit more about Felix's campaign. I'd like to hear a little bit more about some of the things that Mike would like to do if he were the governor for 4 years. I'd also like to hear what this administration would do if they were gifted another 4 years by the voters. I mean, you're asking. 2 guys are asking for the job, and one lady is asking to keep that job. So, in my mind, it would be a waste of time to. I mean, otherwise, forget it. Just interview Lou and just say, "Why did you do this? Why did you do that? What were you thinking when you did that? What the heck was going through your mind when this happened?" As opposed to put him in a debate scenario where, what's Mike going to say? Yeah, right. Felix going to go, yeah, right.
Well, I believe that Mike and Felix will both will accept. And if they do accept, they'll put a lot of pressure. And I'm hoping that Adelup will remember the botched primary debacle and say, hey, we better go. They've already accepted publicly. If we don't go, it's going to look like the primary situation all over again, which is going to put egg on everybody's face.
Yeah, I got you. I understand. I get it. I just, as I said, when I'm thinking about the questions that Cousin Troy and Johnny and I had this conversation the other day, I'm a little bit more prospective as opposed to let's go back. I mean, the last thing that I want to do is set up a quote debate for the specific purposes of making Lou look bad or anybody that has the office look bad. I want to find out what it is that we're going to do. Hell, we're going to be running into a time. The federal money is going to run out before long. Actually, that's not true. We've apparently can sit on this money for as long as we want to, but at some point they're going to spend the last of the federal dollars here, and at that point, all we're going to have going for us is scatterlings from North Korea. Not North Korea, South Korea, maybe a few Taiwanese, maybe a few Japanese that are well-heeled enough to be able to afford coming to America at 130 yen to the dollar. So what's going to be, what is your plan to get this economy back on track? What is your plan to get as many people working as possible at decent salaries so we are competitive with the EBT and the SNAP program?
Well, that's going to be a strong reach, and I'm glad that you have raised the standards on this debate by you and Troy stepping out and bringing in people that don't have the bias that you, Troy and myself have, I think that puts them between a rock and a hard place, because now they're going to have less reason to refuse. And I'm hoping that by putting this challenge out here, it makes it harder for them to say no, just because of the way you've set it up.
Well, I think there's all kinds of other questions we ask. I mean, if the bill comes out of the legislature that talks about transgender boys playing in girl sports, will you sign it? Will you not sign it? If a bill comes across that talks about abortion or women's health rights, however you want to phrase it here on Guam, how will you react to that? 8 o'clock in the morning. I think there's a lot of other questions besides, wow, why'd you do roadblocks that would be more interesting and more palatable in an actual debate scenario. I got to run. It's 8 o'clock. Fox News Live starts playing in the background. I'll see you soon.
All right.
To choose at this critical moment is one of the most consequential votes we could possibly take.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the vote is not hypothetical, given a leaked Supreme Court draft opinion overturning Roe v. Wade. All 50 Senate Republicans voted no, along with West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin.
Make no mistake, it is not Roe v. Wade codification. It's an expansion.
Other opponents also warned the bill would have allowed abortion access without limits. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
In a statement, President Biden called on voters to elect more pro-choice senators this November, and as he put it, return a pro-choice majority to the House so Congress can take up the measure again in January and he can sign it into law. Inflation shows no real signs of coming down.
Inflation moderated only slightly in the year ending in April, and not as much as forecast. The Consumer Price Index rose 0.3% in 1 month, up 8.3% for the year ending in April. Excluding food and energy, the core Consumer Price Index rose 0.6% from March to April, up 6.2% in the year ending in April.
Fox's Ginny Casola. Wall Street stocks fell again, led by more drops in technology companies and the inflation report. The Dow lost 326, the Nasdaq minus 373, the S&P off 65 points. Ukraine's foreign ministry is accusing Russia of stealing the country's grain and trying to sell some of it at global markets, and it's warning countries that purchase Russian grain that some of its shipments could contain the grain stolen from Ukraine, making buyers accomplices to looting. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey there, folks. It's me, KFC's Extra Crispy Colonel. My KFC Extra Crispy Chicken is freshly double-breaded and fried to a luxurious, mouth-watering bronze. You see, Extra Crispy KFC Chicken isn't just a product, it's a lifestyle.
And for a limited time, KFC's delicious egg tarts are back. Pick up your KFC Extra Crispy Chicken Meal and an order of egg tarts at your favorite KFC today. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Get a personal loan for that summer vacation or to pay off those long overdue bills. Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña, now at the old Nanbo Insurance Building at 475-4545, Upper Tumon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, here to serve you.
A federal judge has dismissed the first lawsuit filed against Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over a new law that takes Disney's self-governing power away.
After Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill dissolving Disney's Reedy Creek district, ending its special tax status, residents in 2 counties sued. But the federal judge dismissed their case, saying it belongs in state court and that the plaintiffs couldn't prove any injury or harm had come to them at this point. The law takes effect next year.
And, I'm just not comfortable having that type of agenda get special treatment in my state. I just can't do it.
DeSantis spoke at the bill signing. Lawmakers approved it after Disney's CEO said they would work to repeal a state law that says teachers cannot talk about sexual orientation or gender with students in kindergarten through 3rd grade. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
COVID cases are back up, especially in the Northeast, where school districts in Maine, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania brought back mask mandates. A COVID outbreak causing 2 MLB teams to scrap play today.
Major League Baseball postponing Wednesday's game between the Cleveland Guardians and Chicago White Sox after multiple Guardians coaches and members of their traveling party, including manager Terry Francona, tested positive for the coronavirus. MLB opting to postpone to allow time for testing and contact tracing. This is the first game this season impacted by a COVID outbreak break for an MLB ball club, with 9 games postponed across the majors last year because of positive cases. With Francona having tested positive, the Guardians will have bench coach DeMarlo Hale take over as manager in the interim, much as he's done the past few years as Francona has dealt with other medical issues. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
Actor and director Henry Winkler may be busy, but not too busy to write a memoir. Winkler, who rose to fame in the 70s as the Fonz on Happy Days and has worked steadily ever since, says he's both excited and nervous to contemplate writing a memoir because he said it's hard to remember what happened the day before yesterday, but he says, here I go. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Half day. My name is John Kinata from the village of Umata. I've applied for the program in Salapi to help me in my daily commute from Umata to Manila. Thank you to this administration for the program in Salapi.
The application deadline for program in Salapi has been extended to May 22nd, 2022. For more information, please visit doa.guam.gov. This ad was paid for by the Office of the Governor using government funds.
It's time for a fresh moment from Ruby Tuesday Guam. The Fresh Garden Bar is back to self-service, and for a limited time, you can feel the freshness for just $8.99. That's right, $8.99. You can also add on grilled chicken or grilled salmon for a few bucks more. The Fresh Garden Bar is back to self-service and available all day long. So come on in for a fresh moment at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, it's easy, and it's secure. Visit nambo.com for more information.
6 after 8 o'clock in the morning, top of the news to you, and our top story is actually to do with traffic. Taking a look at traffic on Route 3 from Stumbo Gardens all the way to the intersection of Marine Corps Drive in 1 and 3. Apparently there is some, is it construction that we're hearing about up there, Real Joe?
That's what I'm hearing.
All right, we got hearing that there is construction up there, and you might also see some slowing down around the airport area, as I am told, and we're getting word, one of them from Montesilva, Tyron, who's on the road right now, that there might be taking pictures doing some speed enforcement in the usual areas. You might want to back off the throttle just a little bit. In the news today, if Guam's governor and congressman don't commit soon, the Speaker of the Legislature will just call it off. KUAM reporting the Speaker has given the governor and congressman a deadline to respond. Typically, addresses are held in the early part of the year, and despite invitations being sent to both officials, neither have responded. The Speaker suspects the parties want to hold their speeches closer to the elections, but she's not about to let that happen. It comes as great news today to the Guam public school teachers. Nearly 2,000 Guam Department of Education employees will get a significant pay increase. The governor yesterday approved raises for workers covered under the governor's educator pay plan. That covers 1,925 DOE teachers, special program consultants, teacher mentors, school administrators, counselors, and librarians. The change would increase the average salary of a certified teacher from $48,951 to $58,741. The raise will take effect May 23rd, Leon Guerrero said, noting the raises were planned since the earliest days of our administration. The review was authorized by lawmakers in the current GovGuam budget law, which directed the governor to submit an implementation plan that adjusts educator compensation by September 30th. Wednesday, the DOA submitted its recommended changes to Leon Guerrero, and the rest is history now. DOE plans, the Guam Department of Education wants to release its master facilities plan next week. The plan will cover the facility upgrades and repairs at Guam's 41 public schools. Deferred maintenance costs total $107 million, while school improvements and modernization will cost roughly $143 million. GDOE is using CARES Act money and American Rescue Plan funds to cover much of the costs in question. Coming up, we'll get you caught up on the Kanata Sked case. That's after these messages. Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details. And back to the news here. And clarification, the light over at GRMC is in not working mode.
As in only letting 4 people go and then turning red.
Oh, yeah, there's a suck there. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why there's the major slowdown. That's why it's backed
That's
up
what
all the way to starts. Okay, well, that'll slow down your day. The good news is if you're on Marine Corps Drive, you're not going to be meeting up with a whole lot of the Stumbo Gardens and that kind of traffic. And the word on traffic enforcement, it's by the Airport Police, Airport Road in the Magagaga Highway, northbound by Paul Packbeer's Environmental Office. Now back to the news. Convicted murderers Rudy Kanata and Joyner Sked are set to be sentenced. Court date set for August 12th. Both face the possibility of life in prison for the brutal killing of former Umatic Mayor Daniel Sanchez. An accident yesterday sent 2 people to the hospital with critical injuries. About 6:30 last night, police and emergency responders were called to a 2-car collision along Route 15 in Zigu. According to the Post, an unresponsive man was seen on the ground several feet from the wreckage of the car, while the second victim, an underage girl, seated on the front passenger seat. Also, serious injuries. The second vehicle, a pickup, was seen with its airbag deployed. The 2 were transported to GRMC, condition unknown at this time. Police have also not released any new details into an auto pedestrian accident in Petey Tuesday. The victim in that case was found unresponsive near the day-by-day market. Taken to a NRMC, has not been identified, nor has his condition been disclosed. In more cop news, the Guam Daily Post reporting an autopsy has been completed on a man who was shot by Guam police at a Harmon intersection. The death has been classified as a homicide. Investigators confirmed he died from a single gunshot wound to the chest. The Office of the Attorney General's independent investigative team released the results Wednesday. The AG will now determine if charges will be filed against the officer who has been placed on administrative leave following the shooting. And an internal affairs investigation is underway following a video which is making the rounds that shows a Guam police officer kicking a man who is on the ground, or suggests that he is kicking a man who is on the ground. The officer is believed to have been responding to a motorcycle crash. The video shows the motorcycle on the ground and at least 3 officers standing over the rider who landed on the other side of a concrete barrier. The video recorder alleges the officer was kicking the victim. It is believed the motorcycle was stolen and involved in a high-speed chase prior to that crash. 42-year-old man who has not been identified suffered serious injuries and was taken to Naval Hospital. It's 8:12 in the morning. And that's news. Well, it's going to be news and weather together.
You're going to throw to yourself, dude, for weather.
Did I what?
You have to throw to yourself for weather.
And now with the weather, here's Ray Gibson. Mostly before 2 p.m., we're going to see some scattered showers today. Watch out for the roadways. Partly sunny skies today, later with highs near 88 degrees. It'll feel like 92 because heat index on the east winds 8 to 13 miles an hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight with lows around 78 degrees. Winds up to about 10 miles an hour as well. For tomorrow, which is Friday. Feel like I should tell you that. Mostly sunny, highs near 88 degrees, partly cloudy tomorrow night. Saturday, grill marks again, mostly sunny. Daytime highs about 88 degrees. Sunset tonight at 6:40-ish. That's news and weather together on The Point.
Happy day, it's Kiko the Carabelle. My sister Pika and I are here to share some great news for moms and dads, and kids too. New programs to help working families with child care starts April 5th, and Mom says so many more families now qualify. Visit GuamChildCare.com for more information and to apply today.
Program Penila is brought to Guam's working families by DPHSS, GIDA, Governor Lulion Guerrero, and Lieutenant Governor Justin Ori.
This ad is paid for with federal funds administered by the Department of Public Health and Social Services.
Half a day. Patsy Gogri from Security Title here with information about what a title company does. The title side of our business determines who owns a property and guarantees your ownership with a title insurance policy. The escrow side acts as an independent third party, managing the transfer of money and documents between the buyer, seller, lenders, and others. Security Title has a management of real estate closings down to a science. Give us a call. We are here to help.
I got you. 8:13 in the morning. Portions of the program brought to you by American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. And my friends over at Wendy's, they're your friends too. They said, hey, we need to have a chicken sandwich. And then they said, yeah, but we got to do it better than anybody else because we're Wendy's. So they did. The new hot honey chicken sandwich heats up the made-to-crave menu. It's spicy, all-white meat chicken breast. Then they put pepper jack cheese on it. 1, 2, 3 strips of Applewood smoked bacon and crispy pickle chips. And put that with hot honey, house it on a toasted premium bun. This is the way a chicken sandwich is supposed to be. Eat and get it. A little sweet, a little heat, a lot of good, only at Wendy's.
Real Talk Radio is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters.
Yeah.
Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
It's 8:14 in the morning. Ray Gibson Show, and hanging out with cousin Troy and Johnny and Eric, going over how we saw a debate happening. So the Point and Candid getting together invited Felix and Mike and Governor Lulian Guerrero to participate in this. Ken LG's already made his prediction that if Mike's going to be there, Lou ain't. And so I'm going to ask. I'll send a note just in case that does happen, that we have an empty seat, an empty chair at the table. You know, like they do for, fallen.
Symbolic.
Yeah, exactly. It's symbolic. We sent out the invitation. They declined, but we think that maybe they'll be here with us in spirit. In spirit, as it were. Now, you might be wondering how this is going to go. It's a kind of standard debate. Here's the question. I'll ask somebody a question. We got a couple of guys that can give their response to the question, and then closing statements, and a closing point from whoever was unlucky enough to get the question. So that will end up being one of the interesting things. And cousin Troy, though, because he's cousin Troy, he said, "Dude, we got to have like a pose down." There's got to be like a poster.
Yeah.
So there will be a couple of questions that we will hold in reserve towards the end of this for what I like to refer to as the pose down portion of it, where the moderator's job will just be to preserve decorum as much as possible. But we're not going to be going in times and in orders. It's just, here's the question, bang, whoever jumps to the microphone. Yes. Whoever gets there first gets to play with it. 8:16 in the morning, 888-825-5888-TALK. I got Pete Scrow on the line, but Pete, hold on a second. Harvey's got a couple of quick points he wants to make on the debate. Good morning, Harvey.
Hey, good morning. How are you today?
Groovy.
Hey, I had a chance to think about this debate that came up in the last hour, and I think it's a great idea, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I don't think you're going to get Lou on the debating floor. And a number of reasons. From a risk standpoint, I think she has much more to lose than she does gain. As an incumbent, she already has a big target painted on her back, and these guys are just going to be shooting arrows at her. And she seems to work better in a environment where she's highly managed. I mean, when you see her speaking, she has her, her press assistants and things around her. And I'm not sure how she would do against Felix and Mike kind of out in the open. But my prediction is she's probably not going to. I think she has more from a risk standpoint. I think she has a lot of visibility right now. She's coming out with some positive things like raises and stuff like that. And I think she has more to lose. An incumbent always has more to lose, especially coming out of the situation that we're coming out of with COVID and such like that, and a lot of unpopular things that have happened. But I think that if I was her campaign manager, I'd probably tell her to steer clear of it.
Well, apparently they've changed campaign managers, so I'm not sure who's in charge now.
Yeah,
you're throwing me a bone here, and I'm really trying hard not to take it. But I hear what you're saying. It's we're still doing it.
Yeah.
is the thing. Like I said, we'll have a picture of her and Josh.
Yeah, but I think an incumbent always is a target, right? No matter what race it is, they're always.
Well, yeah, but it's not like this is not an unknown commodity, and obviously there are platform positions that they are just now getting around to that they can talk about and say, yeah, we wanted to do this in the first term, but we had COVID, so this is how we'd like to answer the question. I don't disagree with you at all, but we've sent out the invitations and we'll await the hopefully positive response from Governor Lou and her team.
Now, having said that, I hope I'm wrong because I really would like to see a debate. But again, I'm going to go out on a limb and say
and
he's
on
probably
some
not gonna
substantive
show.
issues. We've got substantive issues that we're dealing with here on Guam right now. As you know, as a potential candidate for the legislature, you know it's the economy, it's the economy, it's the economy. People
Exactly.
have a hard time putting gas in the car. Food costs are rising through the roof, and not everybody wants to get an EBT card. Not everybody wants to get a SNAP card. We just want to return to getting 40 hours a week in a decent paying job. So can we please get there? And we've got questions of a significant nature here. And to segue, I'm going to let you go here so I can segue into the scheduled conversation with Pete Scrow, Attorney Pete Scrow. I think there is already law on the books. But now, certainly, notwithstanding anything that takes place with the Supreme Court of the United States of America, there is a Heartbeat Act that is making its way through the legislature and, in fact, has already had its public hearing. I did want to get an update from you, Pete, on where we stand with the Heartbeat legislation. There have been hours and hours and hours of public hearing and testimony, and we even saw, wow, all of a sudden the American Civil Liberties Union gives a damn about what's happening here on Guam. They flew somebody out here. Planned Parenthood all of a sudden cares about what's happening on Guam, and they sent some folks out here. Were they? Do you know, Pete, if they were able to make any commentary or any submissions to the public hearing?
No, Ray, they weren't, and I can't actually confirm this is the reason, but I'm hoping it's the reason. But the morning before the first public hearing, I emailed to the Speaker's Office certification from Revenue and Tax that neither Planned Parenthood or the American Civil Liberties Union have a business license or have any offices on Guam. So although there really isn't anything as far as any legislative rules related to whether you have to be a resident or have to be a licensed business to testify, I just personally think that especially for an issue like this, it really should be reserved for our people and our residents of Guam and businesses that are licensed to do business on Guam. And I just don't see any reason why Planned Parenthood or the ACLU should have any reason in one of our public hearings.
Noted. Well, I saw the communications. I saw back and forth on that one here. And as I said, all of a sudden the American Civil Liberties Union gives a blank about what we've got going on here on Guam. They didn't seem to care when there were questions about civil liberties of civilians here on Guam that might have been treated to financial and monetary fines if they weren't wearing their mask or social distancing or any number of things that we had to put up with during COVID-19. It sure would have been nice if somebody who claims to protect civil liberties were actually here to protect us. But they didn't seem to care about that here or really anywhere else. 8:21 in the morning. Attorney Pete Scrow on the line. So update me here. We've had the public hearing. What happened to the legislation now? Where's 291?
I'm assuming that it's probably within the Speaker's Committee. That's the natural process as far as the legislative process is. I'm sure that the Speaker is going to have a lot of time. By the way, her and her staff did a wonderful job in putting this public hearings together because it would have been a total nightmare if it wasn't organized the way that she organized it. It was very well done. So I'm
there might be a couple of guys that disagree with that. I don't think Bob Klitsky was in favor of having to schedule something like this. I think he felt like things could have been more. It would have been easy to quote program who was on and who was speaking, as opposed to a discussion that would have been interesting to see. Proponent and opponent sitting side by side with each other, and not to say that they should have been going at it for each other, but would have been nice to have a point counterpoint in those kinds of hearings. I wasn't able to watch the whole thing, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other whether any of that happened. Big news on Fox News this morning. Apparently there was an attempt in Washington, D.C. in Congress to federalize the debate about Roe v. Wade and about abortions. Wanted to say, okay, well, this will then become a matter for the federal government. Looks like common sense and the same bunch of guys that stood up to protect American taxpayers are also standing up to protect the unborn.
Yeah, it's terrific. I had a feeling it would fail. The news has been for weeks that they didn't have enough votes, and I'm really glad that it failed. I'm not surprised. I mean, when you think about it, Ray, I don't think that we've had any local discussion on the fact that even the most so-called powerful man in the world, our President Biden. I mean, President Biden is, or the President of the United States, whoever it is often referred to as the most powerful man in the world. And even himself, in two cases involving trying to overturn the Texas Heartbeat Act, he lost. He specifically ordered the United States Department of Justice to intervene in those cases. And every single time that Biden has tried to influence the judicial system, he has failed. So, I mean, it says something when I can't help but say that if the president has failed, how is our governor going to succeed? I don't get it. But there is something that has come up that's pretty new that I really want to share, because I wish this was something that we had uncovered before the public hearings. But I'm going to get some folks to try to meet with some senators and write them emails about this. But there's a couple of things that I wanted to point out. When the Heartbeat Act was first introduced, you probably remember that email by Jane Flores from the Bureau of Women's Affairs that she sent out. And the news release that Jane sent out, not only was pretty much everything in it not true, but she also goes as far as saying that HIPAA is violated and that the confidentiality of women's medical records is violated. And, that again, we've already said to her that is wrong, but forgetting about federal HIPAA, we already have laws, already existing laws here in Guam, and it's actually 10 Guam Code annotated, and it's a section reg 3218 that requires that for anyone that performs an abortion, not just one item, Ray, but there is a form. There's an actual form that is published by Public Health that requires over 25 pieces of information to be given publicly regarding that abortion. And when you look at this existing law, it's far more strict than what is being asked in the Heartbeat Act.
Yeah.
And actually, they're practically identical. So it's almost come to the point where I feel like calling up somebody who's a member of that committee and say, you know what, maybe that section of the Heartbeat Act isn't necessary, but you can reference the existing law, and that will get rid of that particular argument. I mean, Ray, you wouldn't believe. I mean, the only thing it doesn't require is and I'm surprised that Jane doesn't object to this, because you even have to put the residential address of the woman that had the abortion under this law.
Under existing law, not the Heartbeat Act.
No, under existing law.
Yes.
I mean, out of the 25 different things, I just found this out yesterday. I had not known this before. Actually, I credit Dr. Shea for leading me to the law, because he provided me with a form. And I was curious what made that form legal, and finally found that there is an existing law. But I mean, it goes into it even requires the doctor to say when was the last menstrual cycle of the woman. It goes into where the clinic was, what complications was there, what type of abortion was there. I mean.
Well, the point being is that existing statute now is more aggressive than what is outlined in the Heartbeat Act. So if there are concerns that the opposition to 291 have, the so-called pro-choice people, if there are concerns that they have that there is a violation of HIPAA, there is already existing statute that apparently falls well within the HIPAA rules that is even more restrictive and less anonymous than what is being asked for in the Heartbeat Act.
That's correct, Ray. And two really, if you could allow me, just two really critical points, because these came up in the public hearings. There's another existing law that is called the Guam Women's Reproductive Health Information Act of 2012. And this act was enacted by law. This is current law. This was enacted into law in 2012. And this section has all the disclosure requirements. If you perform an abortion on a woman, required because of a state of emergency for the mother's life. It's even more onerous than what's in the Heartbeat Act. All the information that this exists and this law's existence been in existence since 2012. Why hasn't Jane complained about this? I mean, I'm finding more and more that as I hear some of these opposition people, you know, it's just it gets tiring. This is important subject matter. I feel that they just have to stop misleading the people. The other last point I want to make, and I think you're going to find this, it's actually kind of humorous, and I think your audience will.
Well,
find
I think when you referred to it as exhausting and tiring, you're absolutely right. Marv Vick in the front page of the Pacific Island Times referred to it as the unending abortion debate.
I mean, it's terrible, the messaging that they're giving our people. It's really a bunch of lies. And the last thing that I wanted to point out is the other thing that the opposition, again, during the public hearings are saying is that, you know, if you give the power, they're afraid to give the power to the people. And obviously we know why they're afraid to give power to the people. They want to keep it for themselves. But as you know, Ray, the Heartbeat Act gives the power to the people, to private citizens, to enforce the act itself, just like it does in the state of Texas. Now, one of the arguments that was brought up by a couple of the opponents as well is, oh, senators, you know, this is just going to result in a bounty. There's going to be thousands and thousands of lawsuits here on Guam against doctors and those that have been a part in performing an abortion. Well, that's absolutely not true. And let me give you some real data that you can rely on. A week from today is a pretty significant day in, I think, the pro-life movement. Next week, Thursday, is the 1-year anniversary of when the governor of Texas signed the Heartbeat Act into law. Now,
we should have a wave.
We should have a wave. But let me just ask you a question, Ray. How many lawsuits do you think were filed under the Texas Heartbeat Act in 1 year?
I couldn't make a guess. Zero. I start from zero or a million.
Let's assume there's 30 million people that are residents of Texas.
Yeah.
There were 2 lawsuits, but let me tell you about those 2 lawsuits. There were 2 lawsuits against the same San Antonio, Texas-based doctor, but that doctor took out an ad in the Washington Post asking to be sued under the act. And in the Washington Post ad, he not only put his name and address in San Antonio, Texas, but he actually even went as far in the Washington Post ad to put down the date he performed the abortion, that he did in fact find a fetal heartbeat before he killed the baby, and basically every element that is necessary. I mean, it's terrible, but there's been 2 lawsuits in the entire state of Texas. Now, why is that? And I went into the history of who wrote the Texas Heartbeat Act. And I forget the name of, we have a former senator, I've never met her before, but extremely passionate and was kind of screaming during her testimony, Bisco Lee or something like that. I've never met her. But, you know, she was even criticizing, without naming me, criticizing me, that how dare a private attorney be involved in writing a piece of legislation. Private attorneys write legislations for all over the world.
This is not in the provenance of the legislature. There's all kinds of matters that come to the legislature that have been penned by somebody else. So this is another reminder of who thinks they work for who.
I mean, I got so furious when I heard what she said that I went through her when she was a senator and went through some of the bills she sponsored and some of the things that she did, and sure enough, they were copied from other states. So I don't know how these people continue to lie like this. But the one thing that I wanted to say about the litigation is there is a reason. There's a very bright attorney who wrote the Texas Heartbeat Act. It took him years to write it because he had to figure out how do I write something that overcomes Roe versus Wade? How do I override something that takes away the constitutional argument? And his whole premise of finding the way to do it, which has now been years later upheld, is giving the power to the people to enforce. Because if you give the power to the people to enforce, then there's no constitutional issue. because the Constitution only protects us. It doesn't protect us, Ray, from each other. It protects us from government action. The Constitution doesn't protect us from each other, and sometimes it's a lot of people don't know that. But you know, when I look at the fact that in the entire state of Texas, with 30 million people, we're close to 1 year that their law has been enacted, you would think that it maybe 100 or at least 1,000 or maybe 5,000 out of 30 million people.
But in this case, in just a handful, and it was at the request of somebody who performed an abortion, clearly wanted to test the law. I'm reminded when you were talking about the Regine Bisco-Lee complaining that there was how dare an outsider pen legislation on our behalf. Only the legislature has got the secret, sacred wisdom of being able to do that. You'll recall when Bob and I had submitted a draft resolution for the legislature, there were a number of members of the legislature, Tello and Mary Torres among them, who were put off by this. How dare they put my name on this? I was not consulted. They didn't talk to me about this, and we put it in there prospectively. We figured that they were freedom lovers just like us, and wanted to be able to restrict the governor's ability to, at whim or for whatever reasons, pursue the recurrent public health emergency. They never took up the resolution, and as a result of that, we've got a public health emergency that's going to go through June and probably be extended into July as well. 8:35 in the morning. Listen, I appreciate the conversation, appreciate the update, and appreciate the time. We're all waiting on Roe v. Wade to get overturned and then wait for all hell to break loose. Now, that's an interesting conversation.
By the way, I have a feeling, Ray, it's going to happen sooner than June.
Well, you know what? Because I don't think we burned down enough cities here in this country, and I will assume that you've also got major issues with the idea that the rabble, the mob, have actually found Alito's home address and they're protesting in his front yard. There's something. It's awful. We talk about the insurrection on the 6th, but I'm not hearing a whole lot of people that refer to that as a potential overthrow of our republic here, not saying the same things about how inappropriate it is for the mob to go and make demands of individual justices at their homes. That's just not the way it works, guys.
Yeah, it's terrible. Can you imagine, Google Maps being passed out of the addresses of judges so people can go and hurt them?
Well, you're familiar with the shrill voices that we've got here, and I imagine that they're even shriller and in greater numbers stateside. 8:36 in the morning. Pedro, I'll talk to you again soon.
Happy birthday to you, buddy.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We'll get together and we'll drink a beer. I got a shirt from Bob Klitsky and Auntie Lou. It says, I only drink beer 3 days a week. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Love that. 8:36, Ray Gibson Show. See if we can get Mark back on the line. Mark Mendiola had chimed in, not on the subject, but we were reaching out to Mark to find out from the Ed Board what their comments were. We heard from John Fernandez in the media about how he feels, and in fact on Twitter, I think he took to Twitter yesterday on how he felt about the folks that are getting raises in the Department of Education. And to be clear, I am a firm supporter of this measure coming out of the Lou and Josh administration. I believe it is beyond time, and the last time that we did this, they completely screwed up who was getting raises and based on what in this whole study that got cocked up years ago. But in this case, I think maybe, let's look at it across the board. You in a classroom, you're helping the teachers out, you doing this, that, and the other in the educational, all right, you're going to get a 20% raise. They're going to give you some if you're a principal, and we're going to give you some if you're an assistant principal. The last 2 years for education on Guam have been the suck. They've been suck. The teachers, who all of them signed up to be in the classrooms to teach, ended up being in classrooms and online and doing extra paperwork with the kids that were in the hybrid model. And I'm glad that in this case, they have been blessed with a raise. I don't think they were getting paid enough to begin with, and now they've got a raise, and I think they're a little bit closer to what they deserve for the job that they have done. So it's no longer thankless. I think there is the nod that you were getting, and I don't know anybody that is going to significantly disagree with it. I have no idea how we're going to pay for it, but having said that, I'm sure we'll maybe there's one less, I don't know, a digital manager that we can hire, or a marketing director for a hospital. Maybe there's less of that we need, and we can throw more of the actual money in a place where it makes a difference, like in the classrooms with the kids. Just saying. So I'm glad that kind of thing happens. I'm glad the cops got their raises. Who's left? Nurses? We need to get some money to the nurses, right?
Yeah.
Radio people?
Yeah. Right away, sir.
Right away. Yeah, no, I'm serious. We get the radio delivery boys. Like the newspaper delivery boys. We got radio delivery guys, and we got to make sure that they're taken care of as well. 8:39 on the Ray Gibson Show. Do I need to take a break? Normally we'd be doing news, but it's 8:30, and Mana's off doing something else, and I don't feel like reading the news. So I think we're just going to blow. You know what's going on, right? Teachers got a raise. We're not getting a medical examiner. The cops are big in the news right now, and the traffic is lousy on Route 3. Is there anything else that we need to know? Okay, good. I'll be right back.
Here at Nimitz Towers, we're a large-scale rental complex. We have over 20 employees, and when the pandemic hit, our concerns were people not being able to work, loss of revenue and income, and luckily, due to PPP, we were able to keep all our employees employed, working. We were able to provide services, maintenance, and cleanliness for the building and the operation. Also, the rental assistance program helped us stay solvent during the pandemic and helped us keep the attendance in place.
We're thankful for Congressman San Nicolas advocating for these funds on our behalf in Washington, D.C.
If you have any concerns about any federal issues, feel free to contact your congressman's office.
Thank you for the federal funds. Thank you for the federal funds. Thank you for the federal funds.
Thank you for the federal funds.
Thank you for the federal funds. Thank you for the federal funds.
Paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael F.Q. San Nicolas.
Are you looking for a new place to hang out with your friends? Let's go along the sidelines at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Located at 154 Iriarty Road, Unit 4 and 5 in Tamuning behind Royal Bigs. Sidelines, a hidden gem with nothing but great things to offer. Great atmosphere, great food, top shelf drinks, and a great team. What are we waiting for? Let the fun begin at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. See you there.
Can do. Hey, what's up? It's going. It's Thursday, right? Yeah, let me think about this. I just want to pour over in my head what the possibilities are for a thirsty Thursday kind of day. What did I miss about the medical examiner? Chris Bacchino checking in on the Facebook side or the YouTube side. What did I miss about the medical? We had a guy. They had a guy. Front page to today's Guam Daily Post. It says, oh no, it's not on that one. It's front page then of today's PDN. Chief medical examiner quits before arrival. Dana wrote this story yesterday, but it's been published today. The forensic pathologist hired to serve as the island's chief medical examiner has withdrawn from the position. Dr. Jeffrey Nine, who was hired at an annual salary of $310,000, cited medical reasons for his withdrawal. But I want to say, is it further in today's paper? Wait. No, it's in the other part of this is in the Post. Medical examiner hired. Nine had made it clear that the only barrier to ensuring his employment on Guam will be if his pets cannot travel with him. The Guam Attorney General's office had initiated efforts to help Nine move his pets from the U.S. mainland to Guam. They tried to get his pets to be exempted from the commercial airline suspension of transporting dogs to and from Guam, and apparently did not get the answer that they wanted. Whose neck do we grab for this? Whose neck needs to be grabbed? The Attorney General's neck? My God, all of the power of the office, and you still couldn't get somebody in an airline for the people of Guam? I mean, or was it I don't know. Why is that? Okay, I don't currently, I've got a cat. I live, the cat lets me live in the house. And so I got a cat, and I'm not leaving Guam before the cat dies. So I'm going to assume I will never have to go through this veil of tears. And I would caution, and every day, I'll meet up with somebody, a military guy, military girl. Love meeting up with the military girls. And you know what I want to do? I think I'm going to get a dog. And I'm like, how long are you going to be here? I think I might be here 3 years. They might let me re-up. Might let me, do another tour while I'm here on Guam. We'll just see what happens. And like, the dog's going to live for 16 years. One of these days, you're going to leave. And as much as I'd love to save you the heartache of having to do what I've seen so many of my friends do. One is you got a dog, and you love the dog, picked it out over at Gainer. Maybe it picked you out, and you got a dog, and pretty soon you got the nice collar and the little deflatable, collapsible water bowl, and you're hanging out over at Jimmy D's because that's the best damn place on a Saturday and Sunday if you got a dog.
Puppy love.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. Yes,
I love my puppies.
Oh my God. And then you get your orders and you leave, and then you are left with one of two possible possibilities. One of them is
abandon them.
I hate to see that.
Yeah, Assam Park.
Don't
Just
take them to the
drop
post
off,
office
split.
people have been doing that at the airport lately, or across from Home Depot. You see that there's a whole tribe of dogs that lives down there. But anyway, so you go around and find, maybe you made a friend here on Guam, somebody like me. It says, can you take care of my dog? And I've only ever gotten close on that like twice. Got it twice. And the reason why, in the second case, the reason why I didn't was because the dog came with some health issues to begin with. I said, look, I'm not the guy. I'd do it for you.
Weed habit.
Yeah, weed habit.
Yeah.
Oh, significant.
That's
significant. Yeah. You got to mix it in with the food. So you got to find somebody like me that would be willing to adopt your dog. Or you go and you start doing fundraisers, baby. And I've helped out on fundraisers to help people get their animals off the island. And this is not an inexpensive process. So I would, I know that everybody wants to be part of the solution and adopt, but you're going to fall in love with that animal. And I don't know how in God's green earth you're going to be able to get to move that animal with you to your next spot. It ain't like the States, baby. In fact, I'm told in the States, there's some places in the States, it's just as hard to move animals around. I've heard of guys, hold on, I'll get to the caller in a second. I've heard of guys now that have their only solution was to call someplace like APL and say, can I get on your ship with my dog? And then get off the ship and disembark someplace with the animal. Because that was the only way that they could do it. Just unbelievable how tough it is moving animals around. 8:46 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. Right here. Who's this on one? Who did I get on? Who am I chatting with now?
The amazing and wonderful Dr. Tom Poole.
Dr. Tom Poole. All right, now here's a guy that knows a thing or two about moving animals around here. Hey, Doc, why is it so hard? What did you guys do?
You can blame it entirely, exclusively on United Airlines. So you know who to get. But yes, they decided, although I do have to have some sympathy for the airlines because there are people that just, abuse the airlines and, we're giving the airlines a hard time because, they didn't like the way their animal was handled this way or that and that sort of thing. And they just said, to hell with it. They said, we don't make enough money off of that to deal with it anymore. And they said, we're just not going to be flying animals anymore.
Wow. So too many Karens.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's probably male equivalents, but just too many people that are just making life difficult, and so they shut it down. And so it's been that way for quite a long time now, a couple of years now. And so now the military families with permanent change of station (PCS) orders can still fly, but those were the only ones that could. But even then, they were being jerks about that too because they wouldn't allow people that were retiring, from the military on Guam, to take, because they had permanent change of station orders. They don't just send you to Guam and forget you. You get to fly back, but they said, no, it's got to be, going to another active duty station. And so that was a big fight that we only won a few weeks ago. But they have been doing that to people that were retiring or separating from the service here on Guam. They wouldn't fly their pets back. Well, we finally got that fixed. But as far as just regular civilians, no, you're not going to be doing that with United, and so it's pretty difficult.
Now, what about now? Getting back to the military, don't they have that now with the MAC flights? Can you not get on
Patriot Express?
Patriot Express. So they got that.
Yes, exactly right, and so they can do that, and they can also fly on United, if they have PCS orders.
Wow. Okay, so for everybody else, screwed, blue, tattooed.
Exactly right, and I think it's awful, and we had a family here recently that he was Secret Service, I think, which I didn't even realize that we had Secret Service here, but he had Secret Service here, and he was leaving, and so he chartered a flight in order to take his animals. That's the only way he could do it, and so he said, in order to take his 4 animals, he had to charter a flight of $50,000. And he said, I'll just fly my whole family on the charter flight. And so I think he had 3 or 4 kids, and he and his wife and 4 animals, and he spent $50,000 for a charter flight to get off the island.
Isn't that amazing? Okay, well, so there's 2 sides to this in my mind, Doc. One is there's the outbound, which is clearly a problem and clearly something that needs, I don't know, some kind of attention. I mean, do people need to write to investor services at United and find out if maybe there's some pressure that can put? Is this system wide? I mean, does this happen with United everywhere they fly, or is it just out here?
I think it's system-wide, but I'm not really smart about that, Ray. I'm not really
I can find Sam. I mean, it is what it is, and just explain why they don't do this for retirees and for citizens. Why can't they be treated the same as a PCS customers? I'm sure that there's somebody that they can recite what the policy is and the thinking behind it. And you know what? If it comes down to Karens, I don't know that I'd really have a hard time with that. You and I have both traveled around Karens before, and they can tend to make life difficult at the counters.
Yes, and there was this. If I recall, this thing happened because there was. It seemed like there was a. I think it was actually even an in-flight carrier. I mean, in-cabin carrier.
Yeah, in-cabin.
Yeah, and this animal got injured in turbulence or something like that, and so they really jacked him up and made a big fuss, and it was national news and all that other stuff. And so they just said, out of hell with it, and backed out of it.
Can't blame them. The private business, they can decide who they want to work with and who they don't want to work with. Unfortunately, there don't seem to be a whole lot of options. If Delta was still flying around here, would they have, or do they have a similar plan one way or the other?
Not that I don't know, but they're not coming out here, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Now, the other carriers don't have that. I mean, you can still fly like Korean Air and that sort of thing will bring pets, and so the routing is difficult.
Yeah.
But it's not impossible, to get it done through the other carriers.
So you should but KL #1, like Delta, isn't flying here right now, so it's not as though you can put the carrier on the plane and meet them up in Seoul and then make way for a big jump from into someplace where they're a little bit more pet friendly. All right, now what about inbound pets? This guy Dr. Nine, who would have been our new ME here, as it turns out, it looks like he's not coming because there were difficulties bringing pets in. Are the rules the same in both directions?
Well, there's kind of a scam that people take advantage of in that they will still fly. It's my understanding if it's a service animal, and so these people go and get their animals certified as service animals, and then you're okay. And so. And this guy may not have wanted to participate in that scam, or I shouldn't call him a guy, but our new medical examiner may not have known about that or didn't want to participate in the scam. But there is a way to get around it that way that people do use sometimes.
Let folks chiming in here in the conversation. JC says, even with the Patriot Express, they have very limited pet spots. Most people aren't able to get a spot for their pets on those flights. I suppose unless their first name is Admiral or General, I suppose we'll make some space for those dogs and cats. She says, I've had to tell my kids no to adopting and fostering pets here for the last 3 years because I don't want to be put in that spot of having to be one of those military families not able to take a pet off island. I would hope that there are groups. I know that there's Pause for Pets. There are groups that we've got around here. I've worked with them to one degree or another. My hiking group are big supporters. I've taken not a pie in the face, but I think it was like marshmallow. It was like marshmallow instead of whipped cream. They couldn't find any whipped cream, so they gave me this whipped marshmallow. So I took a pie in the face and raised money for a friend so that they'd be able to move their animals off island. I'd be willing to do it again. And if there's other groups that want to participate in at least fellowship, get-togethers, fundraising opportunities, by all means, reach out, and I'll be happy to give you some airtime to talk about those kinds of things. Fascinating conversation, though, Doc. I tell you, as much as the military community here has, I want to say, at the forefront of support that we've got for operations like GAIN and adopting a pet, or taking care of animals, finding them out in the boonies, fostering them until they can find a family. I hear about that. I once a week I get something from a friend of mine that talks about that. You'd think that there would be more by way that we could do for them.
Well, this booty flight group, which is about a half dozen Navy wives mostly, and the work they do is just unbelievable. They just put 65 animals on a flight last week.
I want to say that Dr. Cabrera's wife is spearheading some of that. She's reached out to me and others through others to get my attention on this.
The amount of work they do, it's just unbelievable. I mean, it's just unbelievable, because they find foster homes for all these animals. Until the flight, someone will say, okay, I've got 8 puppies here that need a home. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so they find fosters for them until they can charter these flights, and they're finding the money and everything, and it's just a tremendous labor of love that these women are working at, just nearly round the clock. It's just almost not an exaggeration. I had to meet them night before last at 10:30 at night, because they had one that they were able to get out on a Patriot Express that a military family had adopted, but it had to be right then, so I had to go meet them because the flight was 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, how about that?
So they're just working around the clock on this stuff. The work they do is unlike anybody else on the island, in terms of the dedication to finding these animals. And so they're it's about every 3 or 4 weeks we put 30 or 40. This flight of 65 we did was the biggest one I think we've had, but they're just doing this constantly. So
there's a demand for dogs. Believe it or not, there's a demand. And there's some about Guam dogs. They're just so darn cute, and they're fairly smart for the most part. You get them fixed up, fix their teeth, get ivermectin, as you say, and you get these dogs healthy. And,
they do all of that.
Take some pictures of them. People in the States will go crazy to adopt Guam Boonie dogs.
All of these dogs are vaccinated and wormed and everything, and all ready to go. Yep. And they do all of that work. They find the money to do all of that work. They do all of it. It's just amazing. And they're not getting any money from Gov Guam or anything. They're just scratching and finding this money wherever they can.
Well, I mean, but this is part of a response to our terrible boonie dog explosion that we've got here on Guam. I don't know if you passed by that place up in Tiedzin, but despite their best efforts, they put up sawhorses, for heaven's sakes. You'd think that would have kept the dogs out. I don't know that it's kept out the do-gooders, but it seems to me the population of boonie dogs at Tiedzin has exploded, and they found a way to get from those houses. There's holes in the chains, guys. I know because I've been through them. But there's holes in the chains back there, and the boonie dogs know to go when they're done getting fed up there. They'll find a way down to Home Depot and see if there's any scraps that they can get around there and the Korean restaurant on the side.
It's true, and it's an ongoing problem. We just I think I feel differently than most everybody else about that, in that I've always felt like the only way we can fix this is if we have a mandatory female dog neutering, and we wrote that legislation and offered it to 3 different senators, couldn't get anyone to even submit it. And so, but I think that is the only long-term solution, and it's worked in other communities, and just trying to go catch boonie dogs in a jungle environment, to me, it's just goofy.
857. Well, we're talking about a legislature run by Democrats who, remember, aren't biologists and couldn't figure out which one is the female, which one is the male. I don't know. We'd have to ask it. I'm sorry, I'm not a scientist. 857. You are, Doc. I'll see you soon. Hopefully, we'll get some walking around Tuman in.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Dr. Tom Poole on the program here this morning. What a nightmare. So this whole thing now is preventing us from being able to get a medical examiner that we need. And so they're going to go on the hunt once again to go and find somebody, a man, woman that got the commensurate skills to be able to be a medical examiner on Guam and answer some questions. What was it the guy was, how are we doing with funerals and getting bodies out of the morgue these days without having to wait a long time? Unbelievable. In crazy times that we live in, aren't they? I got an entire hour of the program in front of us here today. It's what I like to refer to as the small talk portion of the program. See, Chris Biachino, see what you started? That's what you missed when we were talking about the medical examiner. There are a few other items in the table of contents that I think are kind of interesting all across the mainland. This is a major conversation. I'm seeing it on Facebook. I'm seeing it on Twitter. Truth. Which has finally brought me in, and one of the big cheerleaders out there is Senator Marjorie Greene. You remember the one that Mike sent cookies to? Yeah. So she is voting, obviously voting no on some legislation for some new spending for Ukraine. She's concerned, and I share the concern. They're going to be wanting to spend, was it $40 billion to Ukraine here to help out with their war that we're not a part of here. We seem to be spending an awful lot of time worried about people crossing the border at Ukraine and none worried about the border crossings that exist in the United States of America. And on top of that, we're going to send money that we don't have, taxpayer money we don't have, out to someplace. And the part that you need to remember here is in the United States of America, there seems to be a major shortage of formula. I haven't checked over at the Payless. I have seen formula on Guam of all places in the gas stations. It's one of those things. The arc of life right there. You got booze over here. You got condoms over here. And if you took too much of those and didn't buy one of those, you might need to buy the formula. It's crazy the way they do that marketing over at the place. It's 9. It's time for News on the Point.
The bill fails. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The Senate did not have enough votes to move forward with a bill that would have protected abortion access in all 50 states. But Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the fight is not over.
We are going to focus on this issue again and again and again between now and November. We are going to keep fighting and keep fighting and keep fighting until we win.
Republican leader Mitch McConnell on why he is against the measure.
In addition to 9 months of functional abortion on demand, the Democrats' extreme bill would roll back basic health and safety regulations. It would roll back overwhelmingly popular safeguards, such as waiting periods and informed consent laws.
In a statement, President Biden called on voters to elect more pro-choice senators this November and return a pro-choice majority to the House. He said if that happens, Congress can pass this bill in January and put it on his desk so he can sign it into law. A federal appeals court has ruled California's ban on the sale of guns for people under 21 is unconstitutional.
2 California residents, some gun shops, and Second Amendment groups sued over California's law that bans the sale of semi-automatic rifles to adults who are not yet 21. In a 2-to-1 ruling, 2 judges appointed by former President Trump overturned a lower court ruling. Judge Ryan Nelson wrote that America would not exist without the heroism of young adults who fought in the revolution. But the judges did uphold a state law that bans the sale of long guns to those under 21 who do not have a hunting license, noting that no such exception existed for the semi-automatic law.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Lawyers representing families of victims and survivors of the condo collapse in Surfside, Florida last June say they've reached a nearly $1 billion tentative settlement. A lawyer representing the plaintiffs announced the settlement during a hearing today in Miami-Dade. America is listening to Fox News.
Attention! Lolita Kamet is now with Hoffaday Realty. She'll always be that hardworking and passionate real estate professional who is committed to helping you make a difference in your life and helping you achieve the American dream of home ownership. She also specializes in commercial leasing, land sales, local residential sales leasing, military and corporate relocation. So for all your real estate needs, call Lolita Kamet now with Hoffaday Realty at 688-6743. That's 688-6743.
Subway's Eat Fresh Refresh does it again, bringing back a classic fan favorite on the menu. The roast beef returns. And not just any roast beef, it's choice Angus roast beef, flavorful and satisfying on its own, or layered with oven-roasted turkey and Black Forest ham in the Subway Club. Whether you're a choice Angus roast beef purist or like the variety of the Subway Club, both come piled high on hearty multi-grain bread with fresh hand-sliced veggies. Get your fill of the new roast beef at Subway. Eat fresh.
Spring break can be wild and crazy, but this time things may have gotten out of hand in Florida.
Mayhem at Lake George lives up to its name. Wild video shared online shows the fists were flying as hundreds came together last weekend. Many on boats enjoying music and beverages before the party took a negative turn. A video on the Volusia County Sheriff's Facebook page shows men pummeling and tackling each other in the water near the DJ deck. The sheriff says one man was seriously injured and charges are pending. Authorities gave out 38 boating citations, 108 warnings, arresting 5, 2 for disorderly conduct and 3 for boating under the influence. CJ Papa, Fox News.
The European Union's Air Safety Agency has lifted mask requirements for airports and on planes starting next week as COVID restrictions are being eased. Southwest Airlines will be spending lots of dough for improvements.
The carrier will be forking over $2 billion to enhance the flying experience for passengers, promising faster internet service, power outlets at every seat on new planes, and larger overhead bins for carry-ons. Also later this month, Southwest expects to roll out a 4th fare category designed to fill a gap between its cheapest fares and its mid-price ticket. Southwest has always offered fewer amenities than its bigger rivals, like its lack of assigned seats in first-class cabins. Southwest's simpler approach helps them keep costs down, but its new improvements signal that it wants to now remain competitive when it comes to passenger comfort.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. The Nielsen ratings say about 16 million people watched 80 to 81 shot Rich Strike win the Kentucky Derby live on NBC and its Peacock streaming service. But as word got around about the upset victory, more people turned on the TV or checked out the internet to see the replay. So many did so that the number of people who watched replays nearly doubled the number who watched live. NBC also says the Derby was its most watched program since the Super Bowl. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Half a day. My name is Joan Kinata from the village of Umate. I've applied for the program as lucky to help me in my daily commute from Umate to Manila. Thank you to this administration for the program in Salapi.
The application deadline for program in Salapi has been extended to May 22nd, 2022. For more information, please visit doa.guam.gov. This ad was paid for by the Office of the Governor using government funds.
The Federal Reserve is starting to increase interest rates to fight inflation, but they're still so low, making it the perfect time to refinance your home, to lower your rate, and perhaps take advantage of its increased value to put some cash in your pocket during these uncertain times. Cash that you can have the freedom to access when you want, where you want, with your Bank Pacific Visa debit card. Lower your rate with cash in your pocket. Access your cash when you want, where you want, with your Visa debit card. Where there's been branches, we place roots, and we're rooting for you. Equal housing lender, credit conditions apply.
Kings Guam World Tennis Tour, presented by GTA, is bringing international tennis back to Guam. 4 weeks of international play will swing into action with 2 weeks of juniors, followed by 2 weeks of pros, May the 15th through June 12th. The Guam National Tennis Federation will host world-ranked players who will be coming to Guam from all over the world. Netters will compete for ranking points and cash to improve their position among the world's best. Matches will be played daily at the Guam National Tennis Center in Harmon, starting May 15th through June 12th. Special thanks to our platinum sponsors, Dimension System, New Gen, American Medical Center, and Morico Equipment.
It says there's a 30-plus club over at Nissan Guam. If you wonder, was that? 30-plus? Of a Cougar Town? No. It's a 30 miles per gallon plus over at NissanGuam.com. What kind of cars? They got an incredible lineup of automobiles there that get great gas mileage, including the Rogue and the Altima. Both of those rides, 32 miles to the gallon, 33 for the Kicks and the Sentra, and the Versa will get you up to 35 miles to the gallon. Great car, by the way. We've was raving about this a couple of weeks ago, talking about number one, super low sticker price. So you're going to look at the car, going to get into it, you're going to look at the sticker and go, really, you got to be kidding. Super low price on that. A lot of technology on the inside. New design for interior, exterior, and from the ground up, super safety that you are going to find in that car. And 35 miles to the gallon. There's others. Ask them about the Leaf, ladies and gentlemen, when you go to NissanGuam.com.
getting you back to the talk faster. It's the Ray Gibson Show.
What does he mean by that, getting you back to the talk faster? 7 after 9, and what you will hear on other radio stations, talk radio stations, is they play a lot of commercials and promos and crap like that. And then there'll be like a song, and then the song plays forever, and you're going, okay, is it? Are they? Why are they filling? Is the host in the bathroom? Where did they go? A smoke break? What's going on here? It's cynic. So we try to get you as quick as possible. I don't need to take long breaks here because I've always got something in my head or somebody on the line or something that I find is going to be interesting. It's 8 after 9 o'clock in the morning, and I got to do shouts to Sam and Bear swung by sidelines the other night for my birthday, and I sure do appreciate it. The crazy thing was Bear was there for a long time by himself. Sam, where were you?
Good morning, Ray. I was at yoga.
Yoga?
I was doing my Tuesday night yoga.
I
That's
gotcha.
a ritual. They're very, very good therapy sessions.
There seems to be a whole lot more yoga going on here, and I understand some of the reasons why you would want to do something, but maybe you can help out with some people that are listening right now, going, I've heard about yoga. Do I want to try it? What do I need? What do you need to get into and just kind of enjoy a Tuesday night out doing yoga somewhere?
Well, I actually do it for several reasons. Health reasons for one. As we get older, balancing and stretching is something that our bodies need. Some of us are not as active as you, Ray, but we still need to do a lot of those stretching and keep our balances as we get older.
Yeah.
So that really does. So I don't go to these really aggressive, crazy yoga sessions. I go to the gentle one, and it's enough for me to feel really good at the end. I highly recommend it. So I actually have a group of friends that we go, and afterwards, sometimes we grab a little cocktail, or we just go home and rest.
Right.
In this case, we went to an awesome party to celebrate a friend's birthday.
I'm so glad that you were there, and I appreciate the gifts that you left. 9 after 9 o'clock in the morning. Now back to the yoga thing, just because I'm curious. In your Tuesday group, because every group is different. There's some that they'll drink at the time, and then there's some that are kind of into a whole spirituality kind of Zen kind of.
No.
No, you're not into that.
No, towards the end, there's that. We spend 5 minutes to kind of relax and just that itself. And I will tell you this: the one thing that's wonderful about yoga is it's really your time. It's that 1 hour where you're just focused on your breathing and just you. Just like when you go running, it's about you. And yoga does that. And in a gentle way, it really does, really helps with the stretching and the balancing. That's what I love.
Yeah. Well, so there's another part of it that I'd learned from the once or twice I did it was the incredible, there's the stretching things. You can feel the tension in the big muscles, but it also will work to help some of the internal muscles that you might not be able to see because they're messing around, mix it in with organs and that kind of thing. So, really, really good to work out internally the muscles as well.
Yep, I love it. And you would be surprised. Some of the moves that we make will really help you sweat, like holding planks for quite a long while and so forth.
So do you also do the hot yoga, the one that makes you fart?
No. No, I don't do that. I just do the gentle yoga, the beginner's yoga. That's more than enough for me. And no, I don't do that.
Well, the real Joe's asking. Joe, you're laughing like I made that up out of my head. But you get Claire Calvo on the phone and you ask her about hot yoga. And there's something about it. You're in the room. It's hot yoga, and there's as I said, there's a lot. Some of these moves that actually have an impact on internal muscles that are near to where your organs are, and sometimes there's enough work going on in there that there might be a release of one kind or another. All I can say.
If that alone, I won't go to that. No, it's just too hot. I can't do that.
Well, if it was dark and hot, then I'd do it. Then most people wouldn't know it was me. 12 after 9 o'clock in the morning. Sam, Doc, we were talking about what got you to call in today?
It was the animal shipment. What most people don't know is that my first job out of college was working as a domestic pet shipper. I was working for one of the premier pet shipping companies in the West Coast in San Francisco. And I was listening to the challenges that a lot of people are facing today, and why are airlines making making it more difficult. And I believe one of the reasons why is that when I was relates to what I was doing, is that when I was shipping animals, as opposed to now you can go online and look at online scheduling or whatnot, we actually had to use the books. But on top of that, we also had to know every airline in every country, every airport's regulations when it comes to animals landing on the tarmac. So with the limited flights that are out there, whether it's Guam or Hawaii or whatnot, the coordination has to happen so carefully so that violations don't occur when the animal touches down, whether it's a stopover or whatnot. And if there's not a facility or there's not enough watering time or whatnot, then they won't do that because the animals are at risk. And not only that, there are actual regulations that prohibit that, but that really protects the animal.
Wow.
So I suspect that when the airlines start picking up flights and whatnot, that's obviously going to, probably going to disappear. And like I said, it's not so much, we don't want to fly animals, humans are more important. It really is probably the opposite. It's protecting the animals during travel, during the time that they land at the tarmac until the next departure.
Wow, so much that goes into all of this, and I hate to because I'm a deconstruction. I just try to find the bottom of something and take it from there. But in the case like this, it might not be as simple as, well, the airline just doesn't want to fly. Airplane doesn't like us. They don't like the military. Whatever. It's not anything like that. There's so many rules and regulations and factors that go into moving things around. Frankly, I'm surprised anybody does it.
Yeah, but you know what? We love our animals, and I think it is important. I'm surprised the government did not step in and really help this doctor, by the way, to work, to work with the airlines or find different routings to be able to allow the traveling of the pets.
Well, it sounded like they did, but it just didn't work out. The story says the AG's office.
They should have just called me. They should have just called me.
Find a way to get it done. Could we enlisted the guys? I don't know, Philippine Air or somebody. Is there somebody if we could get the dogs to Manila? Could we have done something like that? Now you're, among other things, my favorite Filipino, and I'm kind of curious as to your thoughts on the election in the Philippines. The Marcos is moving back to Malacanang.
I am quite surprised. It reminds me of that, the short-term memory issues that we humans, some humans have. I will share that my family has some direct, uncomfortable experiences with the Marcos, and just that alone, on top of history, I'm just so surprised and disappointed. Now again, this.
Well, I mean, look, my coconut doesn't fall very far from the tree, and in many ways, I am like my father, and in many ways, I'm not like my father.
Right.
Is the last name cursed out of necessity?
Well, it's not. Okay, so the son may.
I mean, Imelda's still alive, is she not?
Right. Yes, yeah, and the thing is, yeah, you're right. Why should a son live through the sins? Live to pay for the sins of his father.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is that's a very powerful position, and and I know that a lot of money is tied up because of in the U.S., if I'm not mistaken, and of course, I believe the father's body is still sitting in Hawaii, if I'm not mistaken.
It seems to me, yeah, they they didn't not necessarily want to leave him there and send him back home.
Yeah, well, of course, there's all the issue about the money too, and money that's being held, in U.S., et cetera, et cetera. But the point being is that now that he's in a powerful position, that gives him some of the leverage to probably start moving some of that money that really was from the people, from the poor people.
Wow! And I remember the day that the Marcos family escaped the Philippines and made their way to Guam, and were able to get themselves caught up with. I think they ordered pizza, seriously, and then he was able to go and do a little bit of shopping on base to get a change of clothes before they ended up in Hawaii. Had the same. This is a fact now. He had the same kind of hat that my Uncle Joe had. Just kind of one of these Dorfman Pacific, just a cap with a band around it. Not a bucket hat. It's a little bit more. I'm trying to remember the name of that particular style. Now I got this from a viewer of the program. It's a caricature of Marcos and his running mate, and the running mate is Facebook, and it says disinformation. What's that all about? Was there a little bit too much effort, I suppose, on the part of Meta to see him get elected?
You know, I would not be surprised. But the voters in the Philippines, you know, I hate to say this, but a lot of votes are bought.
No.
I mean, really bought.
No.
Really bought. And you know, the poorest of the poor vote as well, and they get enamored by that. It's very unfortunate. And I know a lot of Filipino Americans who are out here who did experience the regime are extremely disappointed, saddened. And yeah, you should speak to like Miss Marvick of Pacific Times and why don't you chat with her?
I know others. I mean, I know quite a number of people here that came to Guam and fought their tails off to get to Guam to become Americans. They always going to be Filipino. That's genetics. But they wanted to be Americans. They wanted to get out from under that Marcos regime. And Marvick might be old enough to remember. Among those in the Philippines that had always been targeted and always been silenced were the journalists. There was for all of my growing up years, my grandfather had a subscription to the Manila Free Press, and that was the way I got a sense of what was happening in the Philippines, what was being done to the population of the Philippines, and the plundering of the treasury. Otherwise, you would never ever have gotten that out of state-run media in the Philippines.
Yes, that's right.
And I don't know that you'd get that now. I mean, there's other friends of ours, maybe SCBN, that have found themselves behind bars. And another risk factor, the Philippines is not a media journalist friendly place. That's the kind of place you'll go and cover a story and maybe not come back because somebody will shoot you dead. And if you're lucky, your family will find your body.
Yeah, and for $50, and only for $50. Oh, I remember that one story when someone told me that's all it took. It's crazy, but I mean, election again will be another 4 years. So we'll see what this man will be, but it's good. Philippines won't change for a long time. Yeah, so I know a lot of Americans are sad.
Well, the politics, we think that we've got politics down here on Guam. We don't. We're amateurs. They do it better in Saipan, and they do it way better in the Philippines. Frankly, I'm surprised that none of the candidates had been kidnapped by anybody and a ransom paid, so they can tell their hero and victim story at the same time. 20 after 9 o'clock in the morning. Sam, always a pleasure talking with you, and keep me posted on what you're hearing with regard to that the election and what's next. I mean, it's possible the guy might come out and say, I'm definitely not going to be anything like my mom and dad. In fact, I'm going to open up the Philippines to people like Ray Gibson that are not vaccinated or boosted, and let him come and enjoy once again the wonder and the beauty that is BCG from the Airbnb at Forbes.
We'll make it happen, Ray.
Gotta hope so. I'll see you soon. 20 after 9 o'clock in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. Absolutely. We don't get a chance to break away from too many conversations, but we got a guy coming in here in a couple of minutes. Same way we had folks plugging away at the race judicata this weekend at the judiciary. There is a beach volleyball group that exists in the world, and to the degree that they have been busy lately. And they've got things coming up. I'd like to know a little bit more for a number of reasons. I like beach volleyball. I got a daughter that plays beach volleyball, and kind of curious as to what else we might be able to do here in the coming days, and how we might be able to take some great talent that we've got here and maybe move them off island and get them into A, good colleges, or B, great competitions worldwide. 21 after 9. Be right back.
Happy day. My name is Jennifer Quijano Paredo of Protect Services. So when COVID hit, everything was about COVID this, COVID that, and somehow even my equipment was catching COVID. But joking aside, my equipment is important in our daily operations. Somehow I was having a difficult time getting through SBA. They were just giving me a runaround. So I reached out to our congressman's office, and with their team and the Guam SBA, they were able to help me in getting our truck repairs as well as another truck to keep our businesses running. And in the future, if you guys have any federal concerns or issues, reach out to your congressman's office.
Thank you for helping save small businesses with federal funds. Thank you for helping save small businesses.
Thank you for helping small businesses with federal funds.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael F.Q. San Nicolas.
Win a $100 gas card when you purchase Gasolina energy drinks. Be one of 5 winners and enter now when you purchase 3 for $4 Gasolina 8-ounce or 3 for $5 Gasolina 16-ounce energy drinks. Drawing on June 21st. Free gas with 76 Circle K. Take it easy. Get a 10-pound bag of ice for only 95 cents when you purchase a 12-pack or more of any soda or beer. Only 95 cents for a 10-pound bag of ice. Swing by Circle K today. Some conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy.
Now, 9:23, Ray Gibson Show. It's Thursday, but I got that Friday feeling. I've had the Friday feeling all week long. You know, I got the birthday yesterday, and a lot of people going, "What'd you do last night? Did you go out and you get crazy last night? Was it get kicked out of USA again?" And no. I was
recovering.
Well, I was down in Tumon. Miami wanted to go, and she wanted to take me. Did that come out right? Yeah. Because she drove. She wanted to take me to CPK and enjoy some chow there before anything else. And dropped me off at the house because she's old enough to drive now. So she's driving. She's going to make up for 20 years of me driving around. So she drops me off. I get out of the house and I'm thinking, all right, where am I going to go now? What's to do on a Wednesday night? And then I don't know. I went back in the house, turned on Netflix, and woke up this morning at 4. It was kind of it for me. I think I'd wrung myself out the night before. We'll watch and see what the weekend holds for me. At any rate, one of the other reasons why Mayumi and I have been hanging out a lot these days is she plays for the Academy of Our Lady of Guam girls volleyball team out at GFA. In the studio, what'd you say this guy's last name was, real Joe?
Balahaja.
Galen Balahaja. Well, I can't do the welcome to Guam thing. Right? Balahaja, that's a Guam name. I don't know. Let's find out. Galen Balahaja, did I say it right?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Guam.
You're not from Zotnya, are you?
My family is originally from Zotnya.
I was going to say, all the good Balahajas are Zotnya bound.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good news. Now, what do you do with the volleyball folks?
I have the privilege to be a part of the men's national team. We're going to be representing Guam here.
Wait, back up. We got a men's national team?
Yes,
I had no idea. Where are you guys playing at?
We currently play at right next to Jimmy D's Beach.
Hold on. Get closer to the microphone. You got a great voice. I want to hear all of it. So you're playing over at Jimmy's?
Yeah, right beside Jimmy D's. We put some volleyball courts up there. We've kind of had to bounce around a little bit, making our own courts and things like that. But no, we definitely have a very strong beach volleyball program.
No, I've noticed that. So I'm a Jimmy D's guy, right? Mm-hmm. And so I tend to hang out there at least once a week. I am there usually on Sundays. And yeah, there's volleyball all over the place. I don't know what you guys did. You moved off all of the frisbee people. I don't know. Are you sharing the location with the ultimate frisbee people? Do you let them do their thing and then you guys do yours?
You know, we actually carved out our own little space back there. So the frisbee people got their space back in front of Jimmy D's, and we're off to the corner there.
All right, and there's Dunkas is fairly big. A lot of people think Jimmy D's and think it's just one place, but Dunkas goes kind of all the way down. So there's plenty of room, and there's usually 2 or 3 other people that have got their own beach rigs that will come out and put together their own volleyballs.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely on the weekends, you'll see about 4 or 6 courts set up there and everybody playing.
It really is a fantastic time. It's a great opportunity to get locals and military together to hang out there, plus the dogs. How do you guys deal with that when you're out there with the Men's Federation guys and all of a sudden a dog runs across your court?
It happens from time to time, but everything's, there's so much love down there. It's all welcome. It's more of just a funny thing than anything else.
Well, it's a good time. They got good specials and drinks, and believe it or not, there's actually food down there. And occasionally, there are women in bikinis. I don't know if you've heard, but every once in a while, there'll be some women in bikinis lurking around over at Jimmy D's. Well, Galen, it's good to have you in the studio. As you said, there's a men's, what do you call it?
Well, we actually have the Mini Pacific Games coming up in June.
Okay.
And I'm one half of the men's national team. We also have a women's team that's going. It's going to be on the 17th to the 25th in Saipan. It's really great that, now that all these restrictions have been lifted and everything, we actually get back to competition.
And competition, yeah.
And this is one of the first events we're having that Guam gets to participate in, as well as, a whole lot of countries, FSM, Kiribati, Marshall Islands, New Caledonia. Just go down the list of other islands and other countries that get to come out and compete.
So I'm just kind of curious. We are all getting back into the swing of things after COVID-19. I'm a runner. That's my poison, and so I'm still working through trying to get myself down to my preferred race weight.
Yes.
Are you guys in the volleyball still running into the same problems, trying to get yourselves down and to beat that? What is that? It's not COVID-19. It's COVID-19 pounds that you picked up. Are you at your regular competition level of fitness?
I don't think there's ever a yes to that answer.
True. True. A fine answer.
Yes.
Good response.
But it's something. I will say we have the privilege though of having a whole program set out for us in collaboration with Custom Fitness, Gulf Medgut, Ryan Claris over there.
Oh yeah.
And they've been training us and keeping us together and stuff like that. Mike Robigo. Some of the Federation people, Herman Atta, Dan Hattig, Kazendo, they've done a lot of stuff behind the scenes to kind of keep us.
So you said you're one of two.
Yes,
so there's a two-man volleyball.
It's a two-man beach volleyball team.
Yeah. But I mean, you can get more guys on a side, can't you?
Yeah. Oh, definitely, man. There's a strong beach volleyball community. Part of what I'm here to talk about is we do have a couple fundraising tournaments coming up.
Well, let's go. All right, go.
The first one's going to be this Sunday. We have 2 open tournaments, which is just a lot of fun. Chance for people that just want to come out, enjoy the day. One of the things that definitely brought me back was...
Is that at Jimmy's?
It's going to be at Jimmy D's.
Okay, so Sunday at Jimmy's. Presume it's going to be all day. Are they going to open up the back parking? Do you know? Did you ask?
No, I'm not too sure. I know that's something that we are working on.
Yeah, kick the gate open, bro.
Yeah, I know.
This makes life a whole lot easier.
I know.
Because otherwise I got to park next to Wild Bill's, and the guys over at Wild Bill's are like, where are you going?
Yeah, and risk your life running across the street down the way. And then the second one we're going to have for open tournament is going to be on June 5th. And these are just a lot of fun, man. It's a chance for people who, if you love volleyball, you want to come out, you love the beach, come out with your families, come out with your friends.
Oh, yeah.
One of the funnest things to see is father-son combos and, things like that. It's a perfect opportunity. And it's
hot, so if you're going to be hot at the beach. That's my old rule.
Yeah, run around in the sand and then jump in the water. That's
But not so much by way of water over at Jimmy D's. You got practically walk to the island to get to a point where it's even up to your ankles.
True. It is. You got to dunk half and half.
Yes. You do a lot of flipping over when you're in there. It sounds like a whole lot of fun. We'll help you with the publicity on the fundies coming up. So Sunday over at Jimmy D's, and then June the 5th. Not too much longer, and then it's going to be the next fundraiser, and then you guys are going to be off to CNMI for the actual competition.
Yes,
so
yes.
Who's your teammate?
His name's Nick Shepard.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you're sending the girls team over as well.
Yes.
All right. Who's on that team?
Kendra and Kristen. Those two are awesome. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch.
I was going to say, are they new, or am I thinking about there's a couple of standby women in volleyball that we've got in, specifically beach volleyball, that have left Guam for competition as well.
Yeah.
I might have interviewed one of them once upon a time.
Yeah, Kendra, she's been around for a long time. She's kind of held it down for the women's team. And then her partners, I think this is her first year going.
Okay.
So
now, as you say, it feels like there's a growing community of beach volleyball players. There's a whole lot of guys there, and some are associated with, and some aren't associated. We're just people that like to play volleyball. So there's a growing interest in that kind of thing. COVID-19 pushed a lot of people towards the beaches, and so this is I think a great and very, very effective use of the sand. But I gotta say, it might also be among the hardest things that you've ever done. Volleyball by itself on a regular court is hard. And then when we throw in the, you're outside and it's hot and you're in the sand and the sand gives.
Yes,
and it's not easy running around and setting and jumping on something as flimsy as sand.
Yes, it's absolutely humbling, but it's so much fun. To be able to dive on soft sand as opposed to hard concrete
There's that
floor.
too, yeah.
Being out in the beach, we always say even your worst day playing beach volleyball, you're still sitting at the beach, and Sleepy Lagoon's got some of the best sunsets in the world. So
my phone can attest to that.
Yeah, it's always the hardest part is just getting out there. Once you get out there, you start playing, you realize that it's just so much fun. And it's so enjoyable. The day is just enjoyable.
So now, Tiger Woods has a coach, and I'm assuming that you guys have got dudes that are coaching you and talking you through all of these, keeping you as you said honest to the sport and getting out there into the sun, even no matter how hot it is, no matter how crazy last night was, you got to get out there and get some practice in. So who's doing your coaching?
Our coach is Dave Valera. He's also been a part of the national team for a very long time. But man, the community it's such a wonderful community that he's our head coach, but we also get a lot of support from just previous players and even the women's coaches. It's just it's a great community where we all encourage each other to play.
Yeah. Well, but as I said, it's a growing community, but still kind of small enough so that everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
Are you watching kids coming out of high school and some of the great volleyball that they are playing?
Yes, and it is such a wonderful thing to see. I mean, I had an awe moment when we had a tournament and there were like 8 courts set up, and we see everyone from high school to people that have been playing for 20 plus years. And it's like finally.
Are you talking about Coach Chris?
Yeah.
Who is the coach for St. John still, right?
Yes, he is. And congratulations to him. I think his team just won the championship this year. So, Shep's an anomaly. He can play forever for some reason.
So he's from here, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'll give you another piece of trivia. He used to sleep in my bedroom.
Oh man.
Yeah, his family had lived in what was my old house, and I'm back in the house now. And we were talking about it and saying, "Hey, MTM, right?" I say, "Yeah, MTM." He says, "I used to live in MTM." I said, "Really? I'm living in MTM right now." And I start to describe my house, and he says, "That's where I used to live." And I described my old bedroom. He said, "That was my old bedroom." All right. Well, super anomaly and player coach as well. Because I've seen him on the court.
Yes,
absolutely. So he can walk the walk. They say guys that don't know, what is it? If you do teach, and if you don't know it, then you coach. But Chris absolutely knows the game and can still play it.
Oh, and can still play. We played a
Big
alumni
man,
tournament.
moves fast.
He does, and I remember seeing this middle schooler jump up, or young high schooler jump up and hit the ball at him and yell. And I'm laughing because 20 years ago I did the same thing to him. And then he went and, blocked me 6 times in a row to end the game, going, "Oh, dude, he's never going to stop, is he?"
No. So it's a great coach. So as I said, it's nice enough. It's nice it's growing, but it's nice that all of the guys know each other and everybody's got a reputation or some kind of crazy nickname or something like that. So hook up with these guys. Definitely come out for the competitions and the fun competitions that are going to take place. Yeah. Whatever they charge, pay it, because it'll help get these guys off island for competition that they need to do. And that's the mini games. From the mini games, where do you go?
We're going to go, I think it's mini games, micro games, South Pacific games.
Okay.
So we're hoping to hit all these tournaments. A part of the 2 open tournaments that we're having, there's also going to be one in between, which is going to be a competitive one. So if you come out and, come out for the open for a lot of fun and things like that. But if you want to challenge yourself, we are having a invitational competitive tournament on the 29th. That one's going to be for cash prizes and,
So prove yourself at the fundraisers and then come out as a registered team.
If you want to compete, so we're trying to hit all competition.
Levels here. So you guys, what are you guys going to be doing for fundraisers? Because I think the girls need to go out there with the girl volleyball shorts and do some car washes. That's just my idea. Real Joe, you're behind that, right? You're good with it.
I'm all behind it.
Thought so. All right, now for everybody else, let me get you a little bit more in frame here. For everybody, are you guys selling T-shirts? Are you doing commemorative balls? Whatever.
We are trying to get some sponsorships going on to do some raffles and things like that. We are a small community, so things tend to be a little harder for us to get organized.
Just make Kaz do it. You mentioned Kaz's name. You're here because Kaz asked for it. Just go out there and, hey, look, we've designed some cool T-shirts, one of a kind, and put times and dates and get them signed by all the celebrities.
Oh, man, the part of this whole thing is building this program up, and we've actually started making our own courts. We carve out a piece of land somewhere. We used to have a little spot behind, it's all overgrown now next to Jimmy D's.
Yeah.
Then we found a spot at, Gun Beach area, and now we finally set some posts up and things like that.
You cannot play beach volleyball at Gun Beach.
Yeah,
you cannot. The sand is. I mean, it's a totally different mix of sand that you will find anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing.
Quicksand.
Yeah. It's 2 steps forward. Okay, so I know my sand because from time to time I will run in sand, and so there's different versions of sand. Gun Beach has its own flavor. You go down to Ipoh, it's different. If you go to Mataping Beach, it's even different there. And then you've got the over by Outrigger and Hyatt. It's like they imported it because it's like super powder, but can still be difficult to move around in. So you've got to know. I mean, that's part of the mix of playing is what kind of sand are we going to be playing in, because it's all different.
Sand, wind, you're definitely exposed to elements out there. So it's playing beach volleyball is one of those things where there's so much adjustment that you do throughout the game. So you kind of prepare for everything, and you learn how to adapt to things on the fly.
But I mean, you cut. The thing about the sand though is it will also adapt to the play. And one of the things that I'm kind of annoyed about when I watch my daughter play over at GFA is I know the guys will go out there and make it flat, but while they're practicing, all of a sudden you can see the dip in the sand that they've got to play for it. So it's like from here to there is whatever the marking is to get to the top of the net when you're going to be setting it up, when you're going for a spike, right? Yeah, in the beginning. At the end, you've got to add another 10, another foot, because the hole has gotten that deep. So there's adjustments that have to be made, as you say, kind of on the fly. We're talking about a lot of beaches on west side. What do you got on the eastern side? You got any good volleyball locations there?
No, man. Unfortunately, we do not. And part of building up this whole program.
It's not like there's a lot of beaches on that side, but
yeah, that's true. There isn't a lot of beaches, and the wind is actually even worse on the east side. Everything's east facing, so. And part of this whole thing too is, trying to get us a permanent home somewhere. I know there's been some conversations about putting up a official beach court that is open to the public and things like that, because even the ones at Jimmy D's, it's just us. We dug the hole, put the posts up and everything.
I saw the construction going up. I was wondering what that was for, because I can see a whole bunch of guys playing beach volleyball just jamming their heads into those things. So I hope they're optic orange. I hope you painted those things. But the place that we haven't mentioned yet is Beach Bar. Beach Bar was, I want to say it was a good incubator for the beach volleyball movement. But the last couple of times I went out there, I noticed it doesn't look like anybody has played on it in weeks.
No, I'm not too sure what happened there.
There's grass growing there.
Yeah, and even that court was something that we put up. Shout outs to Jimmy and Brian for taking the time out to put all these courts up and kind of keep the volleyball culture alive, because it's one of those, if you build it, they come.
Yes. Concur.
And prior to us putting up those posts at Jimmy D's just recently, I mean, we had to come up early, set up the poles, set up the lines, do all that stuff, and then try to play all day and break everything down at the end of the day. And, I mean, we've seen so many people come out more just by having those nets there. Even when the players are not there, you see families coming over and just messing around on the court.
Yep.
And, this is all cultivating the next generation that want to show some interest in
I've seen it. You're absolutely right. We got the kids, the skim boarders on this side, and every once in a while they'll throw their skim boards down and start playing volleyball
and messing around.
And most weekdays, it seems to me, there's some interesting beach volleyball. I know that some of the high schools are going out there and doing some practice in the sands.
Yeah, that was one of the most amazing things to see.
So
is
people
the
listening
next
going, Ray,
generation.
when aren't you at the beach now? Because it sounds like you're there all the time.
You got perfect attendance.
Well, I mean, there's as you pointed out, there's a great sunset over at Jimmy D's, and there's no better way to frame that sunset certain times of year than with a Lupat Island over here and a couple of girls in bikinis, for the contrast. The shot that I'm talking about. I got a million of them. But like I said, I'd love to be able to help out. If there's people listening right now that have got some beachfront property and some place for parking. People need to be able to park to be able to get to where it is that the court is. So by all means, reach out, find me, find Cause, find.
Full facility would be absolutely amazing. Parking.
Well, I mean, Carl Gutierrez has got his eye on Mataping, and I've seen the plans, and there's accommodations there for beach volleyball.
This is election year. I'm hoping somebody pulls the trigger on something.
They've already got the money. They're just figuring out who's going to do the construction.
And we've talked about this, like a beach volleyball court on the beach is iconic.
Yes.
And it's one of those things that, shout out to the people behind the scenes that have got our coaching and our reffing and all these things up to standard, that now we can start inviting the pros in, the FIVB and all these other competitors to come in and compete. So now we have a worldwide platform where people can come to Guam, play on a beach court by the beach.
Yeah.
You know, things like this that just, I mean, it's not just tourism, it's a culture that's kind of developing.
I mean, there's differences. I mean, there's beach volleyball on the beach over at Dunca's, and you can see they're playing. That's the beach. We didn't put that and just take a whole bunch of sand from there and put it on some dirt over here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what true beach volleyball is. So, I mean, in my mind, I want to ask you: are there things that we can do over at Paseo? But Paseo is all reclaimed land, so it would end up being, essentially like I said, putting dirt and putting sand on dirt.
You know, it would be, but man, my personal
That's not
opinion,
the experience.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. And that's one of the most, I mean, that's Guam and its beaches.
Dude, there's not too many beaches like that. That's why you're having a hard time. I'm trying to close my eyes and think about where we've got an expanse, a large enough expanse of mostly 99.9% sand, because I know you guys don't want to be playing in rocks or anything like that. I just don't know of too many places like that.
With good sand. That's also,
Fiesta at Saipan.
Yeah,
that's actually the Fiesta in Saipan is a great. Is that where your tournament's going to be?
That's where that's right around the tournament. Yeah,
that is the spot, and it's perfect for that kind of thing because you get the hotel over here and facilities. There's some place to get you a cold beer when you're done, and barbecue, and stay at the hotel, and they got a nice little swimming pool over there.
It is, and having us get it right, man. That's really what it's about.
Well, this is a fun conversation. Keep coming back here because my daughter's into the game and I love watching the game. I'm one of the guys over at Jimmy's that's sitting back. You know the dudes with the hammocks and the coolers on that. Okay, that's my crew. All of them are my crew.
So find a friend and come on and join the tournament. Come on, it's a fun day.
Dude, I'm too.
Bring your daughter, play with your daughter.
Yeah.
That's always.
No, she'll smoke me. She'll smoke me. 9:43. One. I always like to ask questions like this when I get volleyball people in the studio. Best advice, okay? Like you're coach now, and I'm going to take this advice to 17-year-old Mayumi and say, I was talking to this guy, and he's is a member of the actual competitive team that's going to the micro games, and he said, do this. What's the best piece of advice that you can give for a newer young volleyball player?
Humble yourself and enjoy the grind. The more you work at things, the more you look at your weaknesses and your strengths, and you kind of sharpen all sides to the sword, kind of, right? Like you get better. And that's one of the things that's great about beach volleyball is you need all skills. You need to be able to pass. You need to be able to set. You need to be able to read defenses. And then you kind of find yourself and what you're good at. And you can start tailoring your game to know, like, this is my strength. These are my weaknesses. And then you have a partner. You have somebody that you rely on. Yeah. And it's... So
when they say team on team, what the hell does that mean? I hear it all the time. The younger high school players go, team on team, or it sounds like team on team. Do you know what that means? I don't know what it means either.
Not too sure.
So the last time I watched my daughter play, and this is, okay, I'm dad, right? I'm watching them play, and she's got, when her serve is on, it's off, it's off. Yeah. And it's one of those things, especially over at GFA, there's incredible wind there as well. So it's one of those things, it's kind of unpredictable, and it's not, a high percentage opportunity. But I noticed that when her serve started going off, and she started to... And the scores were obviously favoring the other team. I noticed it didn't seem to matter to her. I mean, she's competitive as everybody else, but I think she knew where they were in the standings, and this is all about having fun towards the end of my junior year. So I'm just going to be out here and have the best day of my life playing volleyball.
It always is. It always, man, it's... it is one of those sports, when the wind is kicking, it's anybody's game.
Yeah.
It's... with the sand and everything, you don't have to be the highest jumper. You don't have to be the fastest runner. Like I said, Chris Shepard still plays, and he's still kicking everybody's butt.
As the man says, a good day, a bad day on the court is still better than a good day in the office. Is that Kaz? Is that Kaz on the phone? Oh, because I know he was trying to call in on the other line. But anyway, because Kaz Endo's on the line, I'm just going to have to translate this for you. Good morning, Kaz.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing?
I'm good. I'm having a good time with Galen. You should have sent him earlier. Why don't you send? When are you sending the girls?
Well, I told him since it's a very modern world, we're going to have him wear a two-piece bikini and show up.
Hey, well, you know what? I think those shorts are great, and I would be one of those guys. I'd do it if to help out with the fundraising. We get a picture of Ray Gibson wearing girl volleyball shorts.
Yeah, you could do that Borak bikini and come out and play the beach volleyball in that green one piece.
You've seen it. Yes. Okay. 9:46. So, so what did we leave out in the conversation? I'm sorry. I was just having a good time with Galen.
No, I was calling because I was obviously listening, and I said, I even sent you a message, Ray, but since Galen's on there, I go, once he's done with playing, we're going to officially make him the PR officer for the Federation. he's doing a stand-up job up there.
Well, I can tell he's really, really passionate about it. And one of the things, if you watch the tape a little bit later on, when I started talking about the up and coming youth volleyball players and kids that are playing on the courts, kids that are playing in leagues, and kids that are playing by themselves on their own just at the beaches. There's a lot of talent out here. A lot of people are good at volleyball, and so it's just a question of getting the word out more about what these opportunities are and where these competitions are. Trust me, as a man says, you build it, they will come. It's hard to resist. There's a court. Here's the ball. You want to play?
Well, yeah, and we've been pitching that to whatever government, the Cabo government, now the Young Guerrero government, and they're open ears. And when they started putting beach into the school curriculum of competition, I think that's where it is, because the formality of the game gets really taught at an early age, whereas like guys like Galen, myself, we're old school beach guys, and so we just picked it up watching St. John Smith and Karch Karai, and just trying to emulate the greats, but not really that formality of teaching over the years. But now we've got certified officials from FIVB, we've got certified coaches. Mike Rabago went all the way to Switzerland to get certified to be able to coach in the Olympic level. So these are big things that are happening quietly behind the scenes, and I know that politics takes a lot of the platform, a lot of the conversation, but
No. What's the point of politics? I mean, you got to enjoy where you live, and this is, if you can love the politics, but we can also love, weekend activities, family things that we can do with the kids. So I always take an opportunity to highlight those. And my friend Kaz asked for some airtime, so the answer is always going to be yes when we start working on this. The thing that I haven't brought up, and we got the numbers and the dates and the times and all that. I need sponsors. Who's helping you out?
So on the sponsors,
either or. I mean, I'm waiting for a beer company.
Go for Ken.
We've had a lot of help throughout this process. Lotus Surf Shop, MacTech, Mighty Purple, Nissan. Shout outs to Custom Fitness, Gulf Medgood, Ambrose.
There's the beer. So it's going to be Michelob.
There's some people I'm forgetting too.
Michelob Ultras and seltzers. I'm good. I'm good. You had me at Ambrose. And they can help out with sound systems, too.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some people I'm forgetting. I don't know, Kaz, if there's anybody else.
Well, come back. When the girls come back, we'll make sure they got a full list.
Yeah, I think we ought to do a really big shout out to Jimmy D's.
Because
they've really embraced the concept. You talked about Gun Beach the other minute, and Mark and his group were good to us, but after COVID, they really didn't have an interest in putting up the courts, probably because they didn't want to get in trouble. But, that was also a very special location. You remember Barney's, Wet Willie's, Tahiti Rama, all the good.
I never went to any of those places. That was always Sunday, and I was at church.
That's right. But, you made a point about the sand and about, and Galen put point about Guam could be the epicenter of beach volleyball in this region. It's true. And we've been working on that with FIVB. That's why they're very interested in hosting a lot more international events. In fact, before COVID shut down everything, we were the last to organize a sports event with the one-star event with the women Olympic qualifiers coming in and getting.
I remember that. I remember that interview.
Yeah,
I remember. If I look in the archives, they were here. I recall all of that. 10 away from the top of the hour. Cosman, anytime you need me, you give me a ring and let. Have I already asked 4 times for the girls to come in for an interview? I did, right?
They're coming in next. We're going to ramp this up, and then we'll bring the girls team. And Kendra's been in your studio before. Galen, great looking shirt. I like that shirt. I designed that shirt. It's a beautiful shirt.
I told you. So you're going to do? Are you going to do a commemorative T-shirts for sale for fundraisers?
I think we will be doing that. Yeah, Coach Rivera wants to have some shirts printed for the tournament, so we'll be helping him out there.
Now I'm going to reach into a different place in Kaz's life, and I hope he doesn't mind. Is there a new 240, a new Z car coming out at Nissan?
There is. So it's called just the Z now. You know, they used to have the name monikers with the displacement.
Mm-hmm.
It was the 240, then the 280, then the 300, 320, 370, like that, 350, 370. Now they're just calling it the Z, and it's going to be a beautiful car. Guam's allocated two, one automatic, two for the
Only
original.
two?
Well, they're in so much demand around the world, and as you know, the supply chain has been pretty tough.
Yeah.
There's it's going to be interesting who's going to snag the two. One's going to come in automatic, and one's going to come into 6-speed, and they're going to be beautiful cars. And man, I wish I could buy one, but
Kind of goes without saying. All right, so let me know when that happens. We'll send a couple of people down to the showroom to be among the first to be able to gaze at the new Z car. Are we ready to talk about a potential car show coming up?
We are talking about. Well, we've already announced the return of the engine show, which is the Nissan Generation show, and we are targeting November right now, and so we're just planning all the little nuances, but we'll get you involved. You know, you're a big car show buff, and you've done plenty of yours in the past, and
Yeah, I don't want to. I just want to show up now. The whole producing thing is that's fun. You know, now that it's behind me, but I remember it being a whole lot of work when it was in front of me. So I think I'm going to leave that to some of the younger guys. In fact, that's one of the ways that Kaz and I got together was I needed much better looking entry forms and posters, and this guy was just a whippersnapper in the business. We'll touch on some of that ground. So when is this show going to be? When are you targeting?
We're targeting months in November, but we'll gauge it based on weather conditions and all that because it's an outdoor event. But when we get the Z, we'll give you a call. I'll drag Brian or Van.
Yeah,
all of us will go hot rodding. Maybe.
Perfect.
Who knows?
Perfect. 9:53. I gotta break away from all of the conversations. Kaz, thanks for checking in. I'll talk to you again soon, and we'll exchange emails and whatever. Business.
All right, man. Hey,
what's business?
Happy birthday.
Hey, thank you.
Here.
Well, appreciate it. All right, man. I'll talk to you later on. Galen, thanks very much for coming by the radio station. We get everything out?
Yes.
Hey,
Thank you very much for having
You have
us.
a good time? You want to come back?
Oh, absolutely.
You want to come back with girls, right? Okay, good. For the 5th time there, hopefully I got that message across here. It's always fun to talk story, but it's always fun when there's something for guys to look at as well. It's 9:53, and I'll be right back.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Get a personal loan for that summer vacation or to pay off those long overdue bills. Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña, now at the old Nanbo Insurance Building at 475-4545, Upper Tumon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, here to serve you.
On March 4th, Guam Homeland Security sent an advisory warning about Russian cyber attacks and recommended Guam organizations strengthen their cybersecurity postures. You might think your small business isn't at risk, but as businesses use more cloud and web-based tools, they're exposed to cyber attacks designed to snare victims of any size. Keep your organization protected with GTA's multi-threat security bundle. Visit gta.net or call 671-644-1000 for a free consultation today.
Are you looking for a new place to hang out with your friends? Let's go along the sidelines at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Located at 154 Iriarte Road, Unit 4 and 5 in Tamuning behind Royal Bix. Sidelines, a hidden gem with nothing but great things to offer. Great atmosphere, great food, top shelf drinks, and a great team. What are we waiting for? Let the fun begin at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. See you there.
It's 9:55 in the Ray Gibson Show. A couple of things I want to take care of before I leave. I want to say welcome to the world. Richard and Gigi have been blessed with their. I'm managing partner. These are the money partners, but they stay out of my hair for the most part. Let's welcome Richard and Gigi's first granddaughter, Reese and Adene's baby girl, Anya Renee Yu. Yeah, it's pronounced Anya Renee. Born May 11, 2022. Another tigress born May the 11th. How auspicious. So I say congratulations to Richard and G and Reese and Edene. I was there for the wedding. It was just a wonderful, wonderful event, and they've working babies, right? But they're little boys. And everybody's like, well, we need girls in the family. So brand new baby girl, and congratulations. If you know Richard and G, then you know how to reach out to them and express your well wishes. And among mine were, hey, how about that? Got a granddaughter born on my birthday. One less thing for me to forget. I'm not good with memory. I think by now anybody who's listened to the program for a long time know that I have limitations and shortcomings. Very, very few. In fact, there's a list that they put out of things that are normal, but some people cannot do. And I'm sure, Joe, you've got you can relate to that. As an example, right? What is something normal that you cannot do? Can you snap your fingers?
Oh, yeah.
You can do that.
I can do that.
You can do that. All right. Some people can't. How are you at swimming? I've taken lessons, but I'm not a great swimmer.
I can swim.
You can swim.
Yeah.
I always get the feeling like when I'm swimming, like if I stop, I'll just sink and drown.
Yeah.
So I'll keep going, and I haven't got and it's a fast.
Treading, dude.
No, it's not treading. I mean, I'm swimming, but I look like I'm hysterical swimming. Like there's so much drama, and it's annoying because I see guys in Tumon, and they've got this nice little slow kind of just moving along swim.
Confident strokes.
I can't go that slow because I feel like I'm going to die. So there's that.
bro.
So that's something I can't do. Can you raise one eyebrow without raising the other? Oh, he's doing it now. You absolutely can.
Yeah.
But I can see that you're like concentrating on the other one. Just you're like screwing your face up.
It's difficult, man.
All right. So here's the thing that I cannot do, and it is annoying. It was worse when I was growing up because for forever I was trying to do this, and it occurred to me that all of my guy buddies and a bunch of girl buddies could do it, but I could not, and it annoyed me. Whistling.
Oh, yeah, me too. I can't whistle, dude.
I can whistle like
I
if
had
I'm
my
just
nipples pinched in high school,
and
I couldn't whistle. So I went home bruised, man.
all the time, right? God, I hated that game. I hated that game. I wish I was as big as I am now then, because then I would have, like, whoever was doing that, I could have stood a chance. But now it's too late for that. But you see guys, and there's some just using their lips can whistle, and you can hear them a mile away. And then you got people that will do this thing where they got stick two fingers one from each hand in their mouth.
Very talented humans. Yeah.
Right? You can do that. I can't do that.
Across the football field.
You get people that do this thing with it. I've always wanted, like they're trying to catch a crab,
Yes.
Put it in there, and then make Rick Reel. We can make noise. They can make it sing. In Okinawa, and that's one of the reasons why I love Okinawan music. It's very methodical, very musical, and they whistle. That's like a lyric in Okinawan songs, is they can whistle. And I frustrate because I don't know how to do that, and it is. It's one of those things, like every other boy that I grew up with knew how to do that kind of thing, and they'd try and help me. And, I lost a lot of friends. They just kind of give up on me and say, forget it. If you can't whistle, then we can't be friends. Celebrity birthdays today. Ving Rhames. We know him from Mission Impossible. Emilio Estevez, the Mighty Ducks movies. And Charlie Sheen's brother is 60 years old today. Stephen Baldwin, 56. Tony Hawk, 54. Kim Fields. You remember her from Facts of Life?
Oh, yeah, Tootie.
Tootie. That was their name on the show. Fatty was the other name. She's 53 years old. It is International Nurses Day and Chronic Fatigue Syndrome Awareness Day. Hey, I gotta go. I got a thing with some people. You have a thing with some people as well. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Real Joe, Montesilva Terran, the ghost of Jerry Roberts, and myself online with you starting at 6. You have a fantastic day. Here's Fox.
I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A tentative settlement reached for families of victims of last year's deadly condo collapse in South Florida.
Victims and survivors of the Surfside condo collapse have reached a settlement with insurance companies, developers, contractors, and engineers for $997 million. An attorney said the amount could go higher than $1 billion if they reach an agreement with one additional company. 98 people were killed when the Champlain Towers South condo collapsed last June. Miami-Dade County Judge Michael Hansman said he was shocked by this result, saying what has been done for the victims of this tragedy is remarkable and far in excess of what he anticipated. It comes after a hearing earlier this year in which the judge approved a smaller settlement over the property losses, but the loss of life had not been addressed until now. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Vice President Harris blasting Republicans after the Senate failed to advance a measure that would have protected abortion access